Hey, everybody. What's happening? Happy Thursday, guys. It is February 29th, the last day of this leap year of this month. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight, guys. We're jumping back into Idaho. We have a new document to look at. A records request. It's interesting to talk about it. So, thank you. I know it's a late one, but busy day. So, here we are, and here we go. Let's get this show on the road. Here we go. Here we go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good to see you. Good to have you here. Thank you for joining me tonight. What is going on with everybody? Hope you're all having a great night. And I hope everybody here had a great day today. I'm sorry I wasn't available during the day today, but I had a lot going on. Had a grandbaby here. My wife was off today. So all the stuff that we don't normally get to do, we get to do. And that's how that works, folks. So here we are. As y'all can tell, a new document dropped as of today. It's a records request, so as I always do, I'm bringing it to you. We're going to talk about it and figure it out a little bit, and that's what we're doing tonight. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Like I said, I hope you all had a wonderful day today, and thank you for being here. One moment, guys. All right. Sorry about that. Let's see. We got 37 peeps in here again, guys. Please make sure you're hitting that like button on your way in the door, if you will, please. I would definitely appreciate that. Definitely. All right. Come on in, grab a chair, get comfortable, please, if you will. Let's see who we got joining us tonight. Looks like we got 39 peeps in here, 22 likes. Let's make a match, guys, if we can. Please. Let's see. So far, of course, as always, and Never a doubt in my mind. Brady B, the OG in the house. Welcome back, Brady. Thank you for joining me. Annie Peterson, great to see you tonight. Doodlebug, there's my dude. There's my doodle. Great to see you tonight, hon. Thank you for joining us. Virginia Wolf, welcome back, brother. Good to see you. Evie Marie, thank you for joining us tonight. Very much. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Cindy Curve, welcome. I'm just going to throw it out there. What's up, Big Ohio Al? Great to see you as well. Always a pleasure. If you're there, sir. Alex, good to see you. Thank you for being here tonight. Josie West, great to have you back. Welcome. Good to see you. See Through Fest, welcome. Good to see you again. Thank you for being here. Lisa Wilson, welcome back to you. Let's see here. Michelle Weddle, thank you for joining us. Great to have you here. Great to see you. Brute, what is up? What is up? Good to see you tonight. Spirit Walker, 2023, welcome back to you. Chad Button, all the way from Iowa. Great to see you again tonight, sir. Sarah Bear, welcome back to you. Great to see you tonight. Let's see. Jerry Stinger. Hey. Like the name. Like the name. I know it's late, guys, but I wanted to make sure I got some time in with you guys today, somehow or another. It was so busy today here. Non-stop stuff going on. So thank you guys again for joining me tonight. All right. See if anybody else jumped in here. I don't see. No. I like the nighttime. I like the boogie. Good song. Good song. Again, thank you all for joining me tonight. Again, I hope it's not an inconvenience because it is late, but I wasn't missing a whole day. Not a whole day without hanging out with the peeps. And guys, again, please hit the like button on the way through the door. 28 likes, 52 people. Come on now. And like I said, we're checking out a new document. Lisa Vallejo, welcome back. Great to see you. Party of Five, welcome. Great to see you. Good evening, Grace Renee Elegance. New face, new name. Love seeing it. Very much so. Walt Harris in the house. Welcome, Walt. Great to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight. Appreciate you very much. Looks like Mr. Walt dropped a super sticker. That's awesome, Walt. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. God bless, brother. Very much appreciated. So I kind of figured, guys, there was going to be documents coming after a hearing, of course. Sammy Reeser, welcome. Good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. And so I've been checking on and off all day. And lo and behold, there it was. Interesting hearing the other day we had. Yesterday, sorry. Definitely. I got a couple answers to some questions, and I got more questions now for other things. So I ain't food. Give me a thing that reminds me would be pizza. That is hilarious. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Come on in, everybody. Grab a chair, grab a seat, grab your coffee, tea, or whatever it may be. Please come in, sit down, have a conversation with me tonight. Really, really grateful to you guys. Oh, yeah. You think, Annie? Dahlia, welcome. Good to see you tonight. No worries, Jerry. Please, please, guys, don't ever worry about super chat, super stickers. If you don't ever have to think you have to explain it to me, just don't worry about it. The thing that is most important to me is that I have the people in here that are supporting this channel and myself. That's what matters more to me than anything on the planet, folks. Please know that. And when I say that, I mean that wholeheartedly. These extra donations and stuff, they're wonderful. Believe me, I more than appreciate them. They're definitely nothing that is something I expect by any means whatsoever. So just please understand that, everyone. Nobody ever needs to explain to me their financial status or situation for that by any means, please. Come on in, guys. We got 54 peeps in here now with 33 likes. We're getting there. Come on, please. Let me get some of this stuff pulled up here so we can get that rolling here in a minute. Just going to give it a few minutes to give a few peeps to jump in, just in case. That way I don't have to go back and start again. And by the way, thank you guys. I've been reading your comments. I do appreciate all your comments on the video itself, the videos themselves, and on the community page. You guys are awesome. Absolutely. I appreciate it. And I read every single one of them. It takes me some time. It takes me time sometimes to get to them, but I promise you that I am definitely reading them. Here, guys, 1 second here. I don't always get to respond to every one of your comments. I do like them, and I throw a heart up on there after I read it. I do respond to as many as I can, given the time, but I try. I should say I try. So this document that we're going to be looking at tonight is the response to the public records request. State of Idaho versus Brian Koberger, of course. All right, here we go. A.R. Hayes, good to see you. Thank you for jumping in here. War Eagle, welcome, War Eagle. Great to have you here. Another one of my awesome mods. Thank you for being here. Thank you to all the moderators for being here. Again, I couldn't do this without you guys. I promise you. I wouldn't want to either because you guys are so great. Teresa Morton, thank you for joining us tonight. Appreciate you very much. All right. Let's see here. You guys, let me know, by the way, what my audio is like tonight, whether it's too loud, not loud enough, if you can hear me. Please let me know all of that stuff. Excuse me. We got 61 people in here. I'm going to give it just a little bit longer. And as Miss Sherry says, please slap that like button while you're waiting, guys. We should be getting started here in just a minute. I'm just trying to give it just a few more minutes for some more people to jump in, just in case. Thank you, Michelle. That's perfect. And Party of Five. I appreciate it. Welcome, Charlotte. Good to see you tonight. Thank you for joining us. There you go. Absolutely. Let's hit that algorithm, guys. Please, please, if we can, hit that like button. Let's get it out there. 35 likes and 62 people. We're not even close, guys. Come on, please, if you will. It doesn't cost a penny. Just a little fingertip. That's all. Only takes a second. Excuse me. There's Miss Val. Hey, hey, good to see you. Good to have you here. Thank you. Thank you for that, Val. Okay. Let me see here. 65 peeps, 47 likes. We're getting there. We are getting there. Thank you, Doodle. Appreciate you very much, as always. Justice Informed Med, welcome. Good to see you tonight. Again, guys, my apologies. I know it's a late show. And I typically don't like to start this late, but I had a lot going on today. Grandbaby's here and this and that and all sorts of stuff. So I did it as quick as I could. All right, all right, all right. Let's see. Okay, let's see here. Nope, wrong one. Let's try this again. Whoa. That's a trip. That's a trip. All right, all right, all right. Here we go. All right, we got 68 peeps in here. Holly, welcome. Good to see you. Great to have you here. No worries. I don't want to make you guys wait much longer, so I'm going to go ahead and get this rolling. If anybody jumps in, I'll just re-explain. No big deal. So again, this one is the new document that dropped as of yesterday, 28th. And it is the response to public records request. I don't know how many of you guys have followed the documents. I try to explain every bit of them when they come out and get them out there to you guys for those that don't see them regularly. This is the newest. So um, thank you again, Doodle. So here we go. Like I said, response to public records request. Rousseau, good to see you. Yeah, that's true too. Sherry's right. For anybody that expected this, welcome, Carolyn. Good to see you. For anybody that expected this to go to trial, this is a death penalty case, folks. There are so many different phases to this case. Like she explained it during the hearing yesterday. There's so much to it. So hold on a minute, guys. I got a background noise. I got to chill out a little bit. All right, all right. Sorry about that. Welcome, American Princess. Good to see you. Boy, that's a loud TV going back there. Okay, so again, response to public records request. This was filed, as you can tell, the 28th. Hold on a minute here. Miss Joanne, good to see you. And anybody else that's not actually in the chat by chance, just watching, thank you for joining us. I do appreciate you very much as well. All right, so a public records request was submitted to the Latah County Court clerk on February 26th of 24 and was subsequently forwarded to this court for review and response. The request was to examine and or copy records pertaining to the total cost to date of the case against Brian Koberger, including both defense and prosecution and other costs this case is required. Pursuant to Idaho Code Section 74-102, this response excuse me, is specific to records of the Latah County Judicial Department, and more specifically, records for which this court is the custodian judge as defined in Idaho Court Admin Rule 32K3C. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. First, Idaho Code Section 74-102 does generally give the public the right to examine any public record of this state. However, Idaho Code 74-104(1)B exempts from disclosure records contained in court files of judicial proceedings, the disclosure of which is prohibited by or under rules adopted by the Idaho Supreme Court, but only to the extent that confidentiality is provided under such rules. Idaho Court Administrative Rule 32 governs records of the judicial department, examination and copying, exemption from and limitations on disclosure. Rule 32I2E allows a judicial record to be sealed to preserve the right to a fair trial. Sealed court records are not subject to examination, inspection, or copying by the public. I.C.A.R32I4. Idaho Criminal Rule 12.2 addresses the defendant's ability to file motions requesting additional defense services. Rule 12.2D allows the judge presiding over a case to request that the administrative district judge appoint another judge to consider and conduct any hearing on the motion and to decide on the motion. On January 6th of 23, this court issued an order appointing resource judge for this case. Excuse me. Thus, a separate judge is tasked with decisions related to any defense motions requesting additional defense services. The court has no knowledge of the costs associated with the defense of this case, nor is this court the custodian judge for records pertaining to the total cost to date of the case against Brian Koberger. This is to ensure that any decisions made by the court are not in any way influenced by the judge of the case, or I'm sorry, by the cost of the case. Wow. On January 13th of 23, the resource judge tasked with evaluating and ruling on any defense request for services issued and order sealing documents pursuant to Idaho Court Administrative Rule 32I2E to preserve the right to a fair trial. Therefore, all documents and materials related to costs associated with the defense's request for services are sealed and exempt from disclosure at this time. Additionally, the judicial department does not maintain any records related to the costs of the state's case. In addition to this response explaining why Latah County Judicial Department cannot provide the total cost to date of the case against Brian Koberger. Excuse me. Again, attached is the above mentioned order appointing resource judge and order sealing documents, ICAR Rule 32I. Additionally, the order approving appointed counsel's hourly rate, which is not a sealed document and is contained in this court's case file, is attached. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Guess my wife tripped and fell. She's okay, though. Dark outside. She was trying to look for something and tripped and fell on the porch. She okay? Yeah? Okay. Anyway, my apologies, folks. This is the attached copy they were talking about. Yeah, she's okay, Karen. I believe she's all right. She seemed to be. Thank you for asking. Okay. So, request to examine copy public records to Latah County Clerk, 226 of 24. I hereby request pursuant to Idaho Code 74102 to examine and or copy the following public records. Total cost to date of the case against Brian Koberger, including both defense and prosecution, and any other costs that this case has required. These records specifically pertain to myself. I wish to obtain copies of these records, is what's checked off there. John Webb, KHQ TV. That's the address and all of that. Request to examine and copy public records. This was filed initially down here January 6th of 23. All right, and then this is the order approving the appointed counsel's hourly rate. Good Lord. Ann C. Taylor, Chief Public Defender of the Kootenai County Public Defender's Office, has been appointed to represent defendant Brian C. Koberger at public expense. Therefore, it is ordered that Ann C. Taylor is entitled to payment for her services at the rate of $200 per hour. Jay Logston, Chief Deputy Litigation, also of the Public Defender's Office, will be entitled to payment for his services at the rate of $180 per hour. So ordered this 6th day of January, 2023. Wow. I guess we're in the wrong line of business, folks, aren't we? I mean, I guess that's probably pretty standard for, I don't really know, but here we are again, order appointing resource judge. This is the actual order that appoints it. You're right. That's what I was thinking too, Annie. It's probably, hey, Gray, good to see you tonight, hon. Thank you for joining us. It's probably lower than what some attorneys would actually probably charge, to be honest with you guys. It is ordered that Mark Monson, District Court Judge, Nez Perce County, is appointed as the resource judge for any defense requests. Cheaper than standard. Okay, I see. That's cheap, not standard, much less. So there we go. That was January 6th of 23. Certificate of service. Is there more? Here we go. Yes. Okay, I'll get this here in 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay, yeah, I guess she just skinned her knee. Tomboy, what's going on? Good to see you. So John Webb is the, where are we at here? No, Mark Monson, I'm sorry. District Judge, Nez Perce County. He was who was appointed as the resource judge for the case. Let me see here, back up. John Webb is the from KHQ TV. This is the guy that requested the records request to be able to view the public records as to finding out who got what and how much they made. So that's who that was. For those of you that aren't familiar. So it was obviously a gentleman from that TV channel, probably doing an expose, trying to find out exactly what the attorneys and judges and whatnot are making in this case. So that would be why. It's a little different, but you know, people are probably just curious who's making what for this, Carolyn. You know what I'm saying? It is different though. It's not something I expected. And see, I'm a little surprised. I thought, and maybe she is, that it's broken down into an hourly wage, but I thought that they were on a salary through the state because they're public defender. You know what I mean? So maybe they broke it down to an hourly rate. But I think that if she were to be like a private, working for herself as a private entity, she'd probably be making a lot more than $200 an hour, especially on this case, you guys. I mean, let's think about it. As a public defender, she's paid as to the county. Says it can't afford. She got a bum day. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I can say that does make sense, Sherry. It does. So back down here, I'm sorry, where we were. If anybody has any more questions about this, anything, let me know. I'll go back up. No problem. All right, so this was filed on January 18th of 23. Order sealing documents, ICAR, Rule 32. Right, Annie. This matter is before the court pursuant to a request to seal certain documents. In this case, notice of this request was given and a hearing conducted as required by ICAR 32I. The court finds as a fact as to the documents listed below that the interest of privacy predominates over the interest of public disclosure, and furthermore, that it is necessary to seal the documents or materials to preserve the right to a fair trial, ICAR 32I-5. The following documents are therefore sealed pursuant to ICAR 32I. All documents filed in this case. The public is not allowed to examine, inspect, or copy these documents. The clerk shall designate security group of the sealed documents as sealed because this order reveals information the court seeks to protect. This order shall be sealed, and the public shall not be allowed to examine, inspect, or copy this order. The court will provide a copy of this order redacted for public inspection, examination, and copying. Let me see something here. It is so ordered January 13th of 23, and that was signed by Mark T. Monson, who is the resource judge on this case. Interesting. So they sealed all this. But obviously they were able to see. That's what she's doing, see through, 100%. Thank you, though. Appreciate that. And that's what we're doing with the ice and all that. Yeah, she skinned it a little bit. She tripped over the rug that we have on our front porch because it's dark, and she went down on that knee. So she's sitting in there on the couch with her leg up and the ice on it now. I think so, Rizzo. War Eagle says, so local reporter wants to write a hit piece about how much this case is costing the county, state, and all an election year where Chief Fry is running for office. I think I got it figured out. It does kind of go that direction, Eagle. I agree with you. That's why I laugh when people say Ann's making insane money. She really isn't. She's not. Not for what this case is. I mean, this case is up there in the same realm that like the O.J. Simpson case was. And we know that Johnny Cochran and all of them, you know, the Kardashian, Marsha Clark and all of them were making insane money. If you go back and look it up, you know, on that case. So she's not making nothing on this compared to that. John Webb himself was an early target about this case. Yeah. So, all right. Let me come back down here. That's everything there. It's all done. All right. Right. Hey, board. What's up? Good to see you tonight. Thank you for joining me again, guys. I'm sorry it's so late, but I wanted to get it in. Didn't want to go the whole day without hanging out with you guys. He was investigative reporter, Val. What's that? Okay. All right. So we're going to move on with this. Oh, don't worry about it, Sarah. Welcome. Does anybody have any more questions about this before I take this down? Anything you want me to review again? Or go back over to clarify? Yeah, I remember hearing about that, Carolyn, too. All right. It basically, Sarah, is just telling what Jay Logston and Taylor. It explains who the resource judge is for the trial, for the case. I'm sorry. And then it gives you the amount Ann Taylor is making, 200 per hour. Jay Logston, who is the chief litigator, he's making 180 per hour, 180 per hour. So that's what it shows there. And then it shows who requested the records request on this, which was John Webb. That's pretty much all it was, Sarah. Oh, no worries, Carolyn. So, all right, now, does anybody have any questions or comments about the hearing yesterday in particular? Anything that you're not understanding or would like to be able to understand, or anything you just wanted to talk about in regards to it at all? I think it's based on what state you work in, see through, who determines who makes what. Yeah, it's going to be based on what the budget is for the case, obviously, and like what state and what their rates are for that state. That's my understanding. FWB, welcome. Good to see you. 400 witnesses is crazy. I can agree with that one. I feel like Judge Jay should know what a cash report is. That was a little off to me yesterday, too, when he didn't quite understand that when she was explaining about the towers. And I was like, well, okay. I agree. He should know what that is right out of the gate. I agree with that. Well, here's the thing, Holly, and this is just understanding. If you go back and look at most other death penalty cases, they take a long time. They do. I've never seen a death penalty case that is like cut and dry, in and out within a month or few months. I just have not. If you go, I was curious about that myself. Some of them have taken 4, 5, 6 years. It just depends on the scenario. Even, there's so much to go through in a death penalty case. That's the thing. Yes, it always looks like my head's on fire with that. I got you, Holly. No problem. Hey, Ray. Good to see you. Um, a few people said that yesterday too, Ray, that he just didn't seem present. I can see how that could be undertaken that way. I can, because he just seemed like yesterday. It seemed to me like he was worried about getting somewhere else or doing something else. I mean, maybe that's me, but let me see here. Slip up. What are we talking about here? Slip up of the names was great. Oh, in the beginning, you mean, Sarah? When he first, yeah, a lot of people called that. When he first jumped on the case, I know a lot of people had issues with that. I think you're right, Sherry. I think he is over it. That's why he's. I think that's why he's pushing to get this on trial. One of the reasons why, to hurry up and get the trial going. He doesn't seem to have any patience and understanding for the fact that this is a very high profile case, and he's acting like this is a traffic case in some ways. You know what I'm saying? The way he's like just so nonchalant about things. I'm not saying he's not taking it serious. It's just coming off like, well, this and that, and yeah, he did admit to dropping the ball. That's true too. He said those are his own words, actually. That's true. He did say that too. He was very clear about feeling for both sides. I agree with that, Carolyn. And that's the thing. He does seem to be kind of like, like over everything. Yeah. 12 to 18 more. Yesterday, you mean? Or oh, yesterday. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Not a whole lot, see through. They talked about scheduling. Um, they really didn't come to any kind of a real deal understanding about scheduling. There was a lot of dates thrown out, a lot. Hey Vicky, good to see you tonight, dear. We got 93 peeps in here, 82 likes, guys. On the way in, please hit that like button if you can, please. Yeah, he just seems out there, and he's not catching a lot of times what they're saying. I don't know if it's because he can't hear them right, or if he's just kind of like reading something and he's off in another land, or I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's what it is, though, Karen. Maybe that's what he's thinking on this a lot. He said he's listening very closely to what both sides are saying. And he's thinking very closely about what both sides are saying. So maybe that's, why he's sitting there. It seems to be kind of like out there a little bit. But that's the thing. There's a whole lot of work to do. A lot of people don't understand that. If you look up what a death penalty case entails, there's a lot of phases, a lot of motions. There's a lot that goes on with it. It's not just a bing, bang, boom, here we go. It doesn't work that way. Welcome, Georgia Rain. Good to see you. I thought the prosecution seemed a little scared about the 400 witnesses. I don't think they have many witnesses. They did seem a little surprised. I'll say that much. Maybe a little surprised. I don't know about scared. Definitely kind of shocked a little bit, I thought. And that's just my take on it. I was surprised to find out he used to be a defense attorney. He seemed so out of touch with the points Ann was making. I don't know. I didn't hear that, Annie. Really? He said Kopaka. Wow. I did not hear that. I don't know why he would even have that name in his mind. Yesterday was like our VP's word salads. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm curious to see if any of this is going to hit the Supreme Court. I think they need to. I think they need to go, hey, what's up, Clue? Good to see you, dear. Yeah, I don't think I heard anything about, I was listening pretty intently. I don't think I heard anything about Kopaka. I mean, if there's a spot, let me know where it is. I'll go back and look for it. I'll definitely try to see if I can find it. What's that, Carolyn? Talked about what? Gotcha, Phantom. Welcome, Lurker. Good to see you. I didn't talk to you today. I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're feeling better, Clue. Yeah, I was watching it with closed caption on. I think I had the caption. No, I didn't. But I was still watching and listening. 8 hours ago. Okay, hold on a minute. I will definitely do that. Give me a second, Annie. Let me see here. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That looks to me. Wait a minute, guys. That sounds to me like that was overlaid. Seriously, that sounds like there was something added to this. Hey, Mitt, what's going on? Yeah, that sounds like almost like it was a double track that was overlaid. I don't know. I'm gonna turn it up as loud as I can get it. You guys tell me what you hear, but I don't think that's what was said. That's just my opinion. All right, let's try this again.
It wasn't, when I asked them in the hearing, did you use the IDG, any of the information of the IDG to get the warrant, to get Mr. Koberger's
There were two voices there, one after another. That was overlaid. I'm sorry, but listen, guys. You can hear both of them say it at the same time.
DNA, Mr.
No, that's fake. That was doctored 100%. I'm sorry, but it was.
Oh my God.
No. Nope. That is definitely not real, guys. That was 100% doctored. That's ridiculous. Somebody put that out purposely.
You sure you're comfortable with this?
I don't know how you. It wasn't, when I asked them in the hearing, did you use the IDG, any of the information of the IDG to get the warrant, to get Mr. Koberger's
100% that is fake. That's two different voices. Sorry. This is insane. Like, why are people doing shit like this? This is what's wrong with this case. This is what pisses me off. There's so many people that are trying to do stuff like this. See, that's ridiculous, Annie. Not against you, hon, but that, because it makes people think that. It makes people believe it. It didn't happen that way. And this is from yesterday's hearing? Or is this from another hearing altogether? Yeah, that was ridiculous. That wasn't even a good job at doing it. I'm sorry. I don't remember hearing it. And that definitely sounds faked. Like it was reproduced. Yeah, we were watching the original line yesterday. Debbie Clark, welcome. Good to see you. It was yesterday. Oh, let me see if I can find yesterday's. Thank you for sending me that, Annie, though. Hold on. I don't know exactly where, but I'll scan through and see if we can find this, because that sounds like something that was doctored to me. That's my opinion. Yeah, and that's the one thing he says is to not alter anything, this and that, and we're gonna end up losing the cameras in the courtroom if things like this don't stop. That's the problem. It is 100% two different voices, you guys. You can hear them overlaid. 18 minutes in on Law and Order. Thank you, Clue. Hold on, guys. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that sure sounded like it didn't sound real to me. Law and Crime, you meant, right, Clue? Hold on. Okay. Hold on, guys. Sorry. All right, let's see what we got here.
I don't know how to it wasn't, when I asked them in the hearing that, did you use the IDG, any of the information of the IDG to get the warrant, to get Mr. Koberger's DNA?
Okay, so here's what I think happens. He said Koberger, and I think that there is a delay, maybe. Listen.
That was not part of it. So in terms of the time frame, don't know that it's that complicated. Because a lot of what happened in, if necessary, and I'm not sure, it's up to you to dig into that, obviously. But there was a lot of information in the letter too. Just their sequence
Drip Drop has it on his channel for Crime Circus.
of using the IgG any of the information of the IgG
Hold on,
to
guys.
get the warrant to get.
All right, I'm going to slow it down.
Mr. Koberger's.
Okay, did you hear that? It was two different voices. I'm not saying he did that. I think it's a delay and it rolled over it. Okay. Hold on.
Get Mr. Koberger's.
Koberger. Did you hear? There were both two different names. I think it, just like I said, I think it was just a glitch, maybe.
Part of it. So in terms of the time frame, don't know that it's that complicated. Because a lot of what happened in.
This is live, Jan. This is what we watched yesterday, Jan. I have it slowed down and you can hear two different things. I'm telling you, it's an audio glitch from the the streaming service is what it is.
I thought the time frame happened before that. Now, that when I asked them in the hearing, did you use the IDG, any of the information of the IDG to get a warrant, to get Mr. Overver's.
Yeah, it sounds like an audio glitch, a delay, or just that's what it sounds like to me. In my opinion, you guys, obviously you hear what you hear, I hear what I hear, and I'm not down on anybody for that. Lag, yeah, maybe that's what it was there was lag on it or something. I know there was or he stuttered. That's true too. I think it's a glitch. I agree, Sarah. I noticed yesterday, like, he wasn't hearing things the way he probably should have, and there were some delays yesterday where it would cut out here and there. So that could be what it is, and it's been streamed already. Now it's not live anymore, so it's going to come through. And like I said, when I slowed it down, you can kind of feel it now or hear it clearly. So either way, yeah, some kind of a study or something. Either way, I'm not making a big deal about it. It doesn't mean anything to me other than either a glitch, he stuttered, or just this. It's still either way. It just sounds like something, I think. Cynthia, welcome. Good to see you. 110 peeps in here. But thanks for bringing it to my attention, Annie. I appreciate that. For sure. Mostly. That's what I'm saying. I think it's a lag. He seems tired too. I agree with that. Let me see something here. Back up. Anybody have any other thoughts or anything else about yesterday's hearing? He seemed tired. I will say that much, Vicky. I can agree with you on that one. Oh, I gotta fix the sound now. Just gonna give you guys some updates because I told you guys I'm following this regardless of what else we're doing, no matter what. Some updates on the Elijah Vu case, real quick here. It's okay, Vicky. I get it. Don't worry about it. Right, Debbie Clark. Yes, and welcome, by the way. Okay, real quick here. Let's check this out.
Police have not released any new information as the search continues for this little boy, 3-year-old Elijah Vu. The boy's mother, identified as Katrina Bauer, is held in the Manitowoc County Jail tonight. She is facing recommended charges of being party to child neglect. Over the past several days, community members have pulled together to help search. Last night, family, friends, and concerned residents gathered for a prayer vigil.
I agree on that.
They prayed for Elijah's safe return. Here's what we know about the case. 3-year-old Elijah Vu was last seen at 8 o'clock on Tuesday morning. He was in the 3900 block of Mishicot Road. Elijah has dark blonde hair, brown eyes, weighs about 45 pounds, and is 3 feet tall. He has a birthmark on his left knee. Fox 11's Emily Matasic has been in Two Rivers all day covering this story and joins us now live. Emily, what else have you been able to learn out there?
Yeah, Michelle, there are still many more questions than answers in the disappearance of Elijah Vu. The Two Rivers Police Department has not said anything today as this community continues to search for that little boy. A teddy bear surrounded by candles is sitting outside the building where Elijah Vu was reportedly last seen Tuesday. A Two Rivers Police Department squad sitting watch too.
I have 3 of my own, and it hits my heart. It breaks my heart that this little boy is missing. And if I can do something to help, yeah, I will do it.
Community members once again showing up in Two Rivers to help search for the 3-year-old boy.
I mean, if it was my 2 little girls, I'd want everyone out looking for them. I can't imagine how this family is feeling.
Vu's disappearance bringing local, state, and federal authorities to the table. We captured plainclothes officers going door to door in the 3900 block of Mishicot Road and surrounding area. One resident telling Fox 11 authorities were interested in any security camera footage they may have. The continued search and investigation comes as Katrina Bauer, a woman who family of Vu has identified as his mother, is being held in the Manitowoc County Jail. Bauer and Jesse Vang, whose address in court records matches where the boy was last seen, were supposed to appear in Manitowoc County Court Thursday afternoon for a bond hearing. Vang is being held on a requested charge of child neglect. Bauer is being held on a requested charge of party to child neglect. Authorities not saying why the hearings were canceled, only telling Fox 11 they could appear in court on Friday. Searchers interested in the hearings, but more focused on trying to find Elijah Vu.
The mother's boyfriend, that Jesse Vang, is the last one to see him alive. He had him in his care. For those of you that aren't familiar, and the baby was in the bedroom with him. This was his statement, and I don't believe it. Okay. And said he locked a deadbolt on the door in the bedroom and a chain lock on the door and fell asleep. And then he woke up and the baby was gone. I don't believe that. I do not believe that. There's no way that this 3-year-old, 45-pound, barely tiny little guy went in and unlocked all those locks and walked out of this apartment. There's no way in hell. There's no way. Sorry. This guy is a piece of garbage, was disciplining him in ways that you don't discipline an adult, let alone a 3-year-old child. Okay. And I think he went too far. And then unfortunately, I think he took him somewhere to dispose of him. That's my theory on this. The mother was at somewhere else. She wasn't there at that point. That's what she states. And I'm starting to wonder if they were together for this. I have a couple theories on this, you guys, and it bothers me really bad. I've actually been like losing a little bit of sleep over this, thinking about this, looking at different things, and it's just been driving me nuts. I just don't get this. This is so sad.
I'm hopeful because you have to be hopeful. In situations like this, you need to be.
And I tried to speak to Two Rivers Police today. They are the lead investigative unit on this case. They were not willing to speak with us. Instead, it said to keep our eye on their social media accounts, that they would be posting any updates there. For now, we're live in Two Rivers. Emily Matesic, Fox 11 News.
Emily, thanks so much. Keep on it. Police also stress that no tip or bit of information is too small. Anyone who may have seen Elijah or know where he is urged to call the number that you see on your screen, 844-267-6648. The search.
Exactly. 100% clue. 100%. What kind of a mother would send their child alone is what I don't get. Alone. Why didn't she go with him? That's another problem I have with this. You know what I mean? Yeah, she already lied, said she wasn't in town or something, but it wasn't. Yeah, I agree. I remember that. Oh, yeah, I read that. I read it. It made me sick to my stomach, Eagle. You don't. That's what my thought is. Part of my thought. I hate to even talk about it, but he said that he would make this child stand for 1 to 3 hours in the corner or just stand by the bed or something like that against the wall or whatever. You don't do that to a child. If you're going to stand a child in the corner, you guys, it's 1 minute per age. So if they're 3 years old, that's 3 minutes. And that's a stretch, in my opinion, because a child that young, their attention span does not reach that far. They don't understand. Okay. And he said, somebody asked him in that affidavit, they asked him, what would you do what happened if he didn't stand like he was supposed to. Then he admitted to putting him in a cold shower. What? What? That's torturous behavior, folks. That is torture, okay? And at his age, his height, his weight, his poor little body cannot handle that kind of thing. One of the theories that I have is that he may have done that. Yeah, the dad is in jail, Clue, for other criminal acts. I believe it was against children again, and has been in jail. So hypothermia can set in on somebody small very quickly. So if this man, this garbage, he's not even a man, stood this tiny little baby in a cold shower, which can get very cold out of the tap, for more than 30 seconds, okay, that can be dangerous. That can stop the heart. Hypothermia does not play, okay? Hypothermic shock is real. I've dealt with it physically, personally, myself. I've seen it on a child this small. No way. So it was either, in my opinion, that's what happened, and the child passed on and he didn't know what to do, so he took off with him and did something with him. Or Clue made this comment the other day, and I follow along with that too, because he had stated that he changed this child's diaper once a day. He never changed it that morning, and he was mad the night before. He was telling the mother because the child overfilled his diaper. I think he probably beat this child because of that, and I went too far. And in another form, again, took him and disposed of him somewhere, unfortunately, because he threw his clothes away. Why would you do that if you thought that baby was going to come back, or any of that? You don't do that. This is just nauseating to me in 100 different ways. The dad was in jail, WB. This is horrific. Welcome, Gary. Good to see you. 100%. I agree with that, Annie. I do agree with that, sadly. That's what Sherry keeps calling her, and I agree with her. That incubator probably helped him get rid of the baby. I agree with you, Sherry. I do. She was probably there, you guys. Probably there. She doesn't deserve the title that she should be called. Sherry's been calling her an incubator because that's all she did. Another case, just like, makes me feel the same way too. Leilani Simon with the Quentin Simon case. It's the same scenario. Somebody else having a child that don't care. They're all they care about is themselves. All right, exactly. You change it one time a day, and you're going to be mad if this child overfills the diaper. What do you expect? It's disgusting. I agree. I do agree. I think so too. 100%. 100%. There's no doubt in my mind. I think she's trying to save herself, is all I think. And he's probably helping her by that. The Gabriel case. Yeah, I agree, Sarah. It's just like that too. Let me finish this, guys.
For 3-year-old Elijah Vu is in its third straight night.
I have 3 of my own, and it hits my heart. It breaks my heart that this little boy is missing. And if I can do something to help, I will do it.
Tonight, continuing coverage on the civilian and law enforcement efforts to locate Elijah.
If it was my 2 little girls, I'd want everyone out looking for them. I can't imagine how this family is feeling.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight at 9 for a third straight night. Search efforts continue in and around Two Rivers for 3-year-old Elijah Vu. Fox 11's Brady Meyer is live for us outside of the Two Rivers Police Department tonight. That's where the chief released a statement on Facebook less than 2 hours ago about the search. And Brady, you read through that statement. What did the chief have to say in it?
Michelle, the biggest piece of that update was that Elijah still has not been found, and this investigation is currently still ongoing. The investigation includes several different agencies in some different way. That includes the FBI and the sheriff's departments here in Manitowoc and Sheboygan County. There have been several posts on social media and reports by other news outlets regarding searches outside the county. Chief Minor addressed that by saying, "You may have seen officers searching areas such as local rivers and landfills, and that is correct." He goes on to say, "We will leave no stone unturned. You'll continue to see similar large-scale searches as we receive tips and continue our search for Elijah. As they did last night, police are asking the public to remain vigilant, continue to check their property and surveillance cameras." We also know that Katrina Bauer, identified by family as Elijah's mother, along with Jesse Vang, are behind bars. Both are due in court tomorrow afternoon. Bauer is being held on a recommended charge of party to child neglect, while Vang is facing a recommended charge of child neglect. Chief Minor did not say when police will provide another update, but whenever we get it, we'll be sure to provide
Agreed,
it for
Mount
you.
Mama.
Both
I
here
think
on
she
the
might
air
have been involved,
and
but even if
on
not,
our
I
website
agree
on
with what you're saying.
fox11online.com. I'll be back as well tonight at 9:30 and 10 to continue to share more from what Chief Minor had to say in his update. But from now, reporting live in Two Rivers, Brady Meyer, Fox 11 News.
All right, Brady, thanks so much for that perspective. Police are also reminding everyone that no tip or bit of information is too small in this case. Anyone who may have seen Elijah or know where he is are urged to call the number on your screen. That number is 844-267-6648.
Also breaking at this hour, the mother of missing 3-year-old Elijah Vu is at.
All right, we saw that one, you guys. Like I said, I'm going to continuously talk about this. I don't care what cases we're talking about. I will be putting this out every single day in one form or another, just because it needs to happen until we bring this kid, this beautiful, beautiful child home. I can't. I don't even want to think about this. I'm glad that they're continually 3 hours ago, they're still looking for him. So what is this? As of 3 hours ago, they're continuously searching for him. Thank God that they haven't decided to give this up. This is 3 hours ago, you guys. You know, Rizzo, I was thinking about that. If he is, I mean, I'm glad that he is in that sense, but I hope that they find him soon so that he can come home in one form or another. Hey, Terry, good to see you. With all the, what is the answer? I don't know, Terry. That's the question I've been asking myself for days. I wish I had a real answer. I promise you. I was talking to my wife about this afternoon. A couple different times we talked about it. I wish I had a real answer to put out there to say, hey, this is what we need to do to make this stop. I mean, I personally think that at some point, maybe they should. I know this sounds ridiculous, guys. It sounds ridiculous what I'm about to say. But I think that that there should be forced sterilization on some of these mothers that don't know how to live. Okay, I know that sounds drastic and ridiculous in some ways, but honestly, what answer is there? If you don't, I've been saying this for days, weeks, over years, guys. If you do not like children, if you don't want children, if you can't handle children, stop having children. Period. They don't deserve this. These children, I've said this time and time again, these children do not ask to be born. They don't ask for these lives that they have to live. They don't ask for any of this. And having kids, in my opinion, it always has been, it is something special, you guys. It's not just, oh God, we have another baby, here we go. You know what I mean? And that's how some people look at this. It's insane. It is insane. And like I said, I know it sounds unethical, but forced sterilization in some senses, I think it should be a thing, or castration in some senses, both sides, whatever you want to do, chemical castration. You know what I mean? There really is no real answer at this point. And what I'm saying, it sounds ridiculous, but the marriage license thing won't even matter. WB, these people are having kids without being married. It doesn't matter. These people need to start being held accountable for what's going on. Period. The sentencing on these things needs to be way harsher. People need to start seeing what this is and what the consequences could be and start having to deal with those consequences, period. That's the only thing I can see that may slow this down. It's unbelievably sad to me. And it angers me in so many different ways. I will say that I appreciate how supportive you guys are over these cases. Hey, Cat Lady, good to see you. Yes, thank you. Stop slapping them on the wrist. Make them be accountable. Period. Not the third time in either. The first time you make a mistake, you're done. End of story. Because nobody else suffers except for these children. And these other people can say, boo-hoo me and I this and I don't care. I don't care. Look what you've done to these children. It's unreal to me. This is another thing that was just put out 14 hours ago. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but and I have another one to show you guys too, believe it or not. There's so many of these out here.
Shore community has been hurting since Elijah Vu went missing on February 20th. I'm your Lakeshore neighborhood reporter, Preston Stober, and today I'm talking with the group that's hurting the most,
Exactly,
Elijah Vu's family, as I join them on a search. The Vu family is very close.
When we come together and, put a plan in place, we go through with it.
Elijah's uncle, Orson Vu, says the family is strong, but hurting.
It breaks my heart when I think about it.
Since Elijah disappeared last Tuesday, the family has been on foot, coming through parks and forests all over Manitowoc County. I was the only reporter asked to join them on their latest search.
It does give us a little peace of mind in that sense that we are putting a lot of effort into finding Elijah.
On Tuesday, Two Rivers Police held a press conference. Elijah's grandma, Leah Vang, asked the community not to give up.
I want my grandson to be home with my family. So I want everybody to continue. Don't stop. Just searching for my baby Elijah.
Vang is a mother of 9 and a grandmother of 26, including Elijah and 2 of Orson's kids.
That's the ultimate plan. Is just, having them meet, having them get to know each other, run around and play.
A large family, all united by one goal: finding Elijah.
It hurts, and it's hard. It's hard to face sometimes. Where it's just he's not here, and we don't know where he is.
The Vu family will continue to search, based here at the Mikado Theater in Manitowoc, where they will meet every morning at 9 a.m. for at least the remainder of the week. In Manitowoc, Preston Stober, NBC 26.
It's just so disheartening. It really is. Keep this baby in your thoughts and prayers, you guys, and keep spreading the word. Right. No, instead, she was manipulated by her boyfriend into doing what he wanted. Makes no sense to me at all. None. None at all. Hold on here, guys. Let me see something. great point, Clue. Huge point. All right. All right, now here's an update on the Sebastian Rogers, the missing teen out of Tennessee, Henderson, Tennessee. This is the update newest update I could find. This is the one that's pretty close to where Cluminati and Cletus live. Okay, here we go.
News right now. I'm Mark Kelly from the WKRN.com alert desk. We're expecting any moment right now an update on the search for that missing teenager, Sebastian Rogers. Let's listen in live.
Here in a few moments, I'll go through some slides and show you what we've done over the past 4 days of searching. Really wanted to come to the community and ask for your help. We need you to search your properties every day, morning and night. If there's a shed or a crawl space or up under your mobile home or a tarp that's in your yard, check it every morning and check it every.
I should probably rephrase that. She is a grown woman. She makes her own decisions. This is her child. You're right, 100%. All I was saying was that the boyfriend was probably being manipulative to her, saying, you need to let me discipline this and show you how to discipline, and don't worry about this or that is what I'm saying. It's probably what he was saying to her. You're 100% right, 1,000% right. She's a grown woman. This is her child, not his. She should have made that decision, not him, and I agree. So, you know, there's no victim, and she's no victim as far as I'm concerned. And I don't want it to sound like I'm making that by any case. Please don't take it that way. So thank you for putting that up, Clue, because that does clarify, you know, fact. This woman is an adult, knows better, and doesn't care. So
every night. Look for any details that something has been disturbed. If there's a shirt that was there today that wasn't there yesterday, notify us. You can really help us by searching your own property twice a day. Like I said, we're operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off, and we really need your help to ensure that he is brought home safely.
Okay, and when Chief talks about
just to reiterate, anybody that don't know, this boy has autism. He's autistic and walked away from his home after midnight, barefoot, based on what we understand, with a flashlight when he left, and he's been gone. Are we 5 days now? I don't know, guys, but I'm just, the autistic thing bugs me on this.
Searching your homes, if you've got a farm, we're well aware that the tendency to follow creeks is great. And we've actually done some case studies, some history on calls and searches in the past where young men or young women have traveled to creeks. So we want you to look at creeks. We want you to look at ponds. And if you look at a pond, look for foot tracks around the pond. And then we'll go into, when Chief's ready, we're going to go into pictures and we'll show you our operational periods and the maps that we use to track our searchers. Okay. So this is day one, and all of the rings you see are a fixed wing aircraft, TBI's fixed winged aircraft, and they fly.
Sebastian is 15 years old, by the way.
You use a FLIR, and they do a continual circle on a 2-mile ring, and the video quality and the pictures that they produce are amazing. And the lines that you see that are going all over the place, the green and the purple and the blues, those are helicopters, THP Metro. And then all of the lines in the middle, when you draw that in, those are our foot searchers. So in the first 2 days, we logged over 2,000 miles of personnel on foot doing searches in those search areas. If you want to go to the next page. So that's day 2. And you can see we're continuing to expand those search areas, and you'll see clues, you'll see markers, if a searcher finds something, they mark it. We send a detective or detectives to that scene or to that area. And if they find evidence, we haven't found any evidence. And but if they find something that they think is substantial, CID investigates it. Going to the next day. That's the next day TBI was back. That second day we had really bad weather with rain, and so these are the rings from TBI again, and they did some almost tri-oval type figures when we were looking at particular areas, and they were looking at streams at that time, and a lot of helicopter, and then more ground troops, and then we got one more day, and then today we're expanding west, and you can see those areas that personnel are searching. And so what we do is we get them in, and we've got an app that they utilize, and they create tracks, and you can see the tracks in those sections as they do the search. And we've got several other things.
Thank you for that info. That's another case that I followed a long time ago, Aiden Clune. There's still nothing. And it's good to know in April they're going to have another search for Aiden. Good to hear. Thank you for that info, Sherry. I appreciate that.
Things going on. We're utilizing drones, K9, and UTVs, ATVs, horses, aircraft, and anything at our disposal to get Sebastian located.
Like Director Widener said, what you didn't see on there was any drone track. The drones aren't tracked on Sartopo. What you didn't see on there were several assets that didn't have the app that day. So what you're seeing is what we know we have tracked. Like I said, we're operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off. We have no evidence to disprove that. The family's been nothing but cooperative with law enforcement and our investigation. We are truly operating under the assumption that there's a child missing that needs our help. So if the public is out there and you have a house close by or not close by, right? Check your property twice a day. If you find something, call us. If you have trail cams out on properties that you hunt, check them. If there's an image that you think could be Sebastian, call us. Anything, any tip that you have, call us. We want to bring Sebastian home.
And when the chief says, even if it's not right here, so I actually spoke to the incident commander of a search operation that happened west of here, and a 14-year-old went missing and was found 9 days later, 6.2 miles from home. So we're looking at, we don't want to go out too far, too fast, but even if you live in Davidson County, if you live in Robertson County, if you live anywhere in Sumner County and adjoining counties that you think he could have made it to your property, search those streaks, creek streams, tributaries, ponds, barns, outbuildings, vacant homes, anything, any place that you think he.
That's a good question, Brandy. I was trying to figure that out, if he's verbal or nonverbal. Clue, do you know? I mean, I know you follow this too. Do you know if he's verbal or nonverbal? I believe he's full autistic. Okay, there's no joke about that. So I don't know if he's verbal, nonverbal, but I know the one thing they were doing. Hey, Cass, I know one thing they were doing was they were driving around. He likes Eye of the Tiger by Survivor. It's his favorite song. And I know they were driving around blaring that song, trying to get his attention, to let them know that, they're okay, that, they're his friends and stuff like that. So I wonder if he may be slightly, he might be nonverbal and understanding wise. So I never did get that clearly clarified. And I wondered that myself.
Could be.
One tip, if you're searching your property, is to search it in pairs. If we have aerial assets up and they see someone walking alone through a field, we're going to deploy resources to make.
Okay, Clue says he's verbal then, from what she hears. That could be helpful. Definitely.
Make sure that is not Sebastian. Secondly, if you're out searching your field and something happens to you, someone needs to be able to call for help and tend to you while we're on the way to help you. So,
well, the thing is that bothers me is that he's in a sweatsuit and barefoot, from what we understand, or in socks at the very least, because all of his shoes were at home, the mother said. And the weather's gotten cold over that way over the past few days. So that's what bugs me. Okay. I don't know if he was on social media or not, Annie. I don't know that one. I wouldn't imagine, being if he's autistic, that his parents hopefully kind of monitor what he does if he's doing anything like that. Hopefully. I don't know though. Agreed, Cynthia.
If you're searching, please search in pairs and be safe.
What's the weather been like to possibly affect the search?
Weather, our primary concern with weather is for Sebastian. So the rain that we got and the cold temperatures yesterday and into last night gave us concern for hypothermia. But for rescuers, we put rain gear on and we go. Our mounted people, we're using a lot of tactical officers at night with FLIR or with night vision. And so our search personnel, the weather does not bother them. They go and they're going to perform the search. We're looking at rain tomorrow. The temperature is going to stabilize a little bit. 245 and 17 are feeding us weather on request, and National Weather Service is working with us every day, sending us information if anything changes. So,
Chief, I know you guys had asked for doorbell cam and surveillance camera. Have you guys been able, since Sunday night, Monday morning, been able to actually put eyes on Sebastian? Has any video actually shown him walking?
We have had several clips that have come in. Several of them we've been able to dispel. That's not Sebastian on that clip. We are still working every lead that comes in. So as the video comes in, our detectives, we're working really well alongside the TBI and all of our other law enforcement partners in the region to make sure that we're getting on them just as quickly as possible.
But there hasn't been one video that you guys have had that you said that's...
There's not a confirmed sighting of Sebastian on camera.
Was any of the canines able to pick up on a scent or something that can lead you to maybe a direction where he might have been?
we've done that. We've actually cast the dogs at intersections to see if they take us. And our dogs are scent specific, and we have scent articles from the home, and they have not. We have gotten some tracks away from the home, and we haven't had anything that leads us to Sebastian, obviously.
You mentioned that you've covered about 2,000 miles, correct? What's the word on the amount of volunteers and people helping?
We'll address that later. We've still got plenty of, and what you got to understand is span of control and manageability. And I know there's a lot of talk out there, you need to get more people out there, but we've got to do it coordinated, and we've got to be able to monitor and ensure the safety of our searchers. So right now we've got so many public safety assets that we can track and we can communicate with, that we are in good shape right now. And we are discussing the possibility of going into volunteers.
We have begun the conversation of coordinating with local volunteer groups. Should we need them, there's a plan in place. What I don't want is to have 1,000 people out in the woods, someone get injured, and now we have to deploy resources to them that should be deployed to get Sebastian home safely. As of right now, I've talked to the FBI, I've talked to world-renowned detectives from the Middle Tennessee area, and every one of them has said, we're doing everything that we should be doing. We're doing everything that we can. I'm open to ideas. If someone's got an idea that we're not applying yet, let me know. I'll apply it.
Do you know how many hours, how many miles you guys have clocked in and searched so far?
2,000 by foot the first 2 days. We're not tracking hours now. We'll put all that together. We'll do an after action report, but now we're going through the day. Preparing this afternoon for tomorrow. We've got a team that's doing that. We've even got the tax assessor's office working with us on additional mapping for streams and creeks that we want to make sure we're covering. And I'll tell y'all, we're hitting streams and creeks heavy. So that's something we need done is creeks, streams, tributaries checked, because the watershed from the Tyree Springs area coming down in here. One thing I've learned about autism is the stamina, the pain threshold, the drive in these men and women, young boys and young girls is greater than ours. Okay. So the particular case in northern Mississippi and West Tennessee, this young man walked until he passed out. And when they got to him, he was laying face down, and they were like, oh my. but he was unconscious.
One thing I will say is that
they've done stories on him.
This one started.
And,
They've been
so
on the ball with it.
that's something we're looking at, and we urge people to get out and check those locations. A lot of farms in Summit County, a lot of creeks in Summit County. Check them.
I hate to cut you guys off, but I'm really focused on getting Sebastian home, and we need to get back out and make sure we're doing everything we can. I really appreciate you guys being here and covering the story. And as soon as there's an update, I'll let you know. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, back here at the WKRN.com Alert Desk, you just got the latest update from law enforcement there in Sumner County as the search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers now enters day 4, and they continue making that push for property owners in the area to continue searching their own property twice a day, looking for Sebastian. At this point, they say Sebastian walked off. The family is cooperating with the investigation. We're going to have much more coming up on News 2 at 3, but now back to your local programming.
Sorry, Cass. What I was saying was I will say one thing. I am very, very impressed with law enforcement on this one. They have been on the ball with this 100% from the day one. First moment, they have not stopped. It's been ongoing, nonstop. These guys are on it with this one. I'm very impressed with that. I hope to God that they find this kid and they find him and he's okay. I pray. Too many of these, and it's just it's too much. This is from 4 hours ago on this one. An update.
Missing Sumner County boy intensifies. Unfortunately, there is still no sign of 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers, despite exhaustive efforts. We've been covering this massive search since February 26th, when Sebastian was last seen at his home in Hendersonville. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 5. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wilgus. News 2's Tori Gessner is joining us live, and Tori, officials now say they're still treating this as if Sebastian just got up and walked away from his house.
Haley, Bob, officials say there have been absolutely no signs of foul play and really no signs of Sebastian Rogers at all. No confirmed sightings of him on any surveillance camera or doorbell camera, and first responders haven't found any evidence in the woods or water or even his home, which they say
there's a lot in Tennessee, unfortunately.
Now today, they focused on bodies of water around the area because they say Sebastian is drawn to water. Investigators are also asking the community to search their properties and do so in pairs so they don't have to use resources to confirm a person walking around alone isn't Sebastian. People in the community say they've all been impacted by this situation. They add students at Sebastian's school are also worried. Even strangers who live nearby say the situation has kept them up at night, especially because of the terrain here.
I see it's so many woods and so much water here in Hendersonville. It's so much water and so many woods. From like Glenbrook on, it's solid woods. And you're like, there's so many places. And then we passed by T.W. Hunter up here, and they had the new drain ditches laying out there. I thought, oh God, wonder if they searched them, you know? Wonder if they looked in there to see if maybe he was in one of them trying to stay warm, get the wind off of him. It's just too many places he could be, and it's scary.
Now, the one thing investigators did say they found were tracks leading away from Sebastian's home, but they say that lead fell up short. Now, it's unclear how long they'll be out here tonight, but of course, we'll keep you updated once we know. Live in Hendersonville, Tori Gessner, News 2.
Sorry, guys. I was reading an article on that. All right. They are using drones. All right, give me a second here. Trying to pull something up. 1 sec. Okay, everyone, I'm sorry. My wife's knee started swelling up, and I was trying to look at it for a minute, so sorry about that. Excuse me. Okay. Hold on here a minute. You want me to be gone? I can leave? You guys having fun without me or what? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hear me. Yeah, it is elevated, but it started to swell finally. Unfortunately. Hold on, guys. I got another one I want to throw up here. Hold on.
That breaking news. Kissimmee police.
I don't have pickles. Okay, here we go. 1 second, guys. There's another girl that's missing in Florida by the name of Madeline Soto, 13-year-old girl. There was actually an arrest made in some senses related possibly to that one. All right, I'm going to give you guys a press conference on that. Mahogany Jackson. Yeah, that's where I learned it from. Cass was mom, SRB, not mom, not mom, but yeah. There's so many of these out here, you guys. So many. It's so sad. Right, Sherry. Oh, you're okay, Clue. Don't worry about it. Hey, hold on, guys. Let me get. Where the hell are they? Here we go. All right, here we go. Yeah, don't ever tell her I called her mom. I didn't mean that.
All right. Well, good afternoon. So thank you for being here so we can bring as much attention as possible to the case.
Yeah, this one makes me just as angry as these other ones too.
Let me first start by saying, I know as a parent, this is every parent's.
I'll have to look into it, Clue. Seriously.
Many of our
In fact, let me write it down.
who are working the case, they also have children, so they're working extra hard to find Madeline. We can't even imagine the pain and anguish that Madeline's family is going through. So I do want to assure the community that we have well over 100 deputies, detectives, intelligence analysts, and specialized personnel who are investigating this case and searching for Madeline right now. And we will not stop until we find her. So Madeline is 13 years old. She has been missing since 8:30 on Monday morning when mom's boyfriend dropped her off near Hunters Creek Middle School. He dropped her off actually near the Peace United Methodist Church on Town Loop Boulevard. So I'll kind of go through like a timeline of events as we know it. Like I said, mom's boyfriend dropped Madeline off at about 8:30 a.m. on Monday morning, a few blocks away from the school. At approximately 4:30 on Monday afternoon, Madeline's mom went to the school to pick her up and found out that Madeline was not there and had never reported to school. So she never actually entered the school. And so we also learned that Madeline left her phone at home that day. So we were called on Monday evening at approximately 8 p.m. Our patrol deputies went out there, met with Madeline's mom at the school near Hunters Creek to take a report on her missing daughter. So we started the investigation that night, started canvassing the area, looking for any witnesses or surveillance video. So later that evening, while we were doing an investigation, we did obtain an article of Madeline from the house. We called our bloodhound. The bloodhound did an extensive search, which unfortunately did not provide any results about her whereabouts. So our missing persons detectives responded to take over the investigation. So they did interviews with mom's boyfriend, Madeline's friends from school. We were able to access Madeline's phone, and there is information on the phone that indicated that she told people when she turned 13, which was on February 22nd,
hey, Kathy,
to live in the woods. So that was in her phone. And so during the course of the day on Tuesday, detectives and deputies conducted extensive interviews, an extensive canvass. We collected video from the area. and again, conducted interviews with family members. So on yesterday, we distributed flyers in the area near the school. As a matter of fact, Madeline's family had their own flyers. We're also distributing flyers to family and friends and students at the school at the same time. So the house is in Kissimmee, where the family lives, is being held overnight by the Orange County Sheriff's Office and the Kissimmee Police so that we could secure search warrants. This is common practice in cases like this, and those search warrants should be executed today.
I'll be looking into that one for sure too then.
On Wednesday this morning, more than 50 members of our emergency response team responded out there to the area near the school and conducted an area search for Madeline. And so we have a command post set up out there at that area. We also have a command post set up here at the sheriff's office for the investigative side of it. So, you know, our detectives are continuing to do interviews and follow up on all possible leads. One thing we do in all missing person cases, especially missing juveniles, our sex offender surveillance squad goes out and makes contact with every single sex offender in the area of Madeline's last location. And so, you know, I wish I had some more definitive answers. We just want to keep getting Madeline's picture out there. We want people who may know something about her disappearance to call us. They can call us anonymously at 1-800-423-TIPS. They can also call 911 if they think they know what happened to Madeline. And again, you know, it's every parent's worst nightmare, but rest assured that, you know, we are doing everything possible. We have an extensive section dedicated to working solely on finding out where Madeline is. And I'll take some questions, but again, still early on in the investigation. I'll start over here.
So it's okay, Kathy. No worries.
So right now, the facts of the disappearance don't qualify through the Florida Department of Law Enforcement for an Amber Alert. Certainly, if through the investigation it does qualify for an Amber Alert, we will send that out.
Sure. Just, I know we say it's the her mother's boyfriend. Is there any indication the father's in the picture? Is he local? Is there any possibility another family member from, I guess, previous marriage might be involved in this?
There's no information to indicate that there's another family member, an outside family member is involved. No, not at this time.
Is he local, the father, you know?
I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay, that's correct. No, just the information on the phone was that when she turned 13, which was just February 22nd, she was going to live out in the woods. So it's one of the reasons we're out there in that area searching. That was, yeah, through either text messages or other social media messages.
Sheriff, I know you had mentioned that Madeline asked to be dropped off at church away from school. Family also said that as well. They also mentioned that
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
suspicious about the location of where she was dropped off and the timeline of when she was actually dropped off.
Yeah, that's certainly all the things that our detectives look at. I know the initial information was that she said, "Hey, you know, I'm embarrassed of this vehicle, whatever, so drop me off at this location." We're still following up on all of that, but yes, certainly something that we will look into. You know, why not drop her off at the school? But we're looking into all of that.
Sheriff, we've heard there is surveillance video from that church that was given to detectives. Does it show her actually getting out of the car and starting to walk?
So we collected that video, analyzed it, and it's a very, very grainy video. So we're not actually sure if that's Madeline, but we've collected video from other parts of that area too.
At this point, are you looking at the boyfriend, the person who dropped her off, as a suspect or anybody?
So anytime we have like a missing juvenile, we certainly look at everyone that has contact with that juvenile. It's one of the first things that we do. So the investigation is ongoing. So yeah, anytime that we have a missing,
I agree on that.
kid who left her phone at home, who was dropped off, early a few blocks from school, we look at all of that. So anytime a child goes missing, to me it's always suspicious, and in this case that's why we're putting all these resources towards finding her. Well over 100 personnel are working to find her, from detectives to analysts to specialized patrol, mounted patrol, our emergency response team, and others.
Yeah, I obviously think something else was going on in that home, in my opinion.
Not to my knowledge, no, nothing that was beyond the obvious. Yeah. Yes. Where? No, so we're searching all the areas around that area where she was last seen, and then of course we're searching any area where we've received any tips, or any areas that investigative leads have led us to. I can't tell you exactly when it was. It obviously it was before she turned 13, which was February 22nd, but that's all I can tell you right now. Other than that, to my knowledge, there was no other indication of turmoil in the house. So, that's why we have all these people out there. We don't know if she was taken. We don't know if she stepped away. She left her phone at the house. So that's why we're putting all this effort into. That's why we're doing this press conference, to hope someone from the public may have saw something. It might not have seemed like a big deal at the time, but now knowing what Madeline looks like, maybe it's some information that could help us find her whereabouts. Yeah, so anytime a juvenile goes missing, we're always looking at social media or phones. Obviously, I said we have her phone. We're able to analyze her phone. So anything that's involving gaming or social media, certainly we take a look at. And just know that a lot of times some of that information from third-party social media platforms does take time. We need to get subpoenas and information. But yeah, we are looking at that phone, and certainly that's things that our detectives will look at. Yeah, so like I said, throughout the investigation and tips that come in, we search different areas. I'm not exactly sure where they are right now. I just know that we've searched several areas out there.
Believe you had deputies out there by the middle school today. There's also where trail is. Can you just give us an indication, like what kind of radius a bloodhound can do in this area?
The bloodhounds. I mean, we put out our own videos. Depending on the scent and how strong it is, there's cases of bloodhounds tracking someone a mile or even more away. So that's why we have bloodhounds here. We use them anytime we have a missing person. And so, that's one of the reasons not too long ago, we put out our scent evidence kit. If you want to, you can get one of these scent evidence kits. You can put a piece of their clothing, or clothing inside this kit. And then if, God forbid, someone who's elderly, who maybe has dementia or Alzheimer, goes missing, we can give the bloodhound, let them sniff that article, and they may be able to take the bloodhound right to it. But they're incredible animals, as you know, and they're very capable of doing those searches.
I agree with that one, Sherry. Everybody needs Grady Judd.
So the information I have is that it was that the mom's boyfriend dropped her off. That's the information I have. So all I will say is that our detectives are following up on every single lead with the end result of finding Madeline. That's their number one priority. But
he's a sheriff down in Florida, Cassie. Great sheriff.
In investigations like this, they look at everything. Like I said, we interview family members, we locate sex offenders that are in the area, we look at video, we look at everyone's phones, we do search warrants to see if there's any indication in the house. So we do all of that, and it's an extensive investigation. So I said well over 100 people are involved. So, we're hoping some tips come in that may help us. Again, we're going to continue to look at all the things that we do: license plate readers, video surveillance, cell phone information from everyone, and those are all the things that are going on right now. If we get tips, certainly we will. There's a lot of different areas out there. And we'll send our search teams to different areas over the next couple of days. No, we treat a missing person as a missing persons, and I know there's different levels, and people are on the spectrum at different levels. So no, it wouldn't change our investigation. It's just a piece of information that we know. And
welcome Southern Style.
Our training of dealing with people who may be on the spectrum, that's something that we take into consideration about where they might end up, where they might go. All right, thank you.
Okay, hang on now. I'll show you something else on this case that really bugs me now. Now, the boyfriend of the mother of this girl was arrested. I'm about to show you guys, and is in jail now. So there he is.
And so thank you for being here, so we can.
That's him being arrested. We just watched this. 1 second, guys.
13-year-old Maddie Soto has been missing.
Let me show you the rest of the coverage on why and what. 1 second here.
13-year-old Maddie Soto has been missing since Monday morning.
And this exclusive video you see right here when Fox 35 spoke with her mom on Tuesday night, you could see her boyfriend sitting in that Zoom interview right behind her. We've circled him on the screen there. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Marlisa Goldsmith.
And I'm John Brown. That same man is the man who deputies walked into the Orange County Jail last night. And we have live team coverage of his arrest, plus the latest in the search for Maddie. We're going to begin with Fox 35's Randy Hildreth. So Randy, you've been digging into the arrest today. What did you find out?
Yeah, good evening to you both. We got this warrant from the Kissimmee Police late this afternoon. Now, some of the details in this warrant too graphic to share on TV, but I can tell you in looking through it, one of the things that stood out, investigators say the mom's boyfriend, Stephon Stearns, told investigators that he did a factory reset on his phone the same day Maddie was reported missing.
Maddie, if you see this, please come home.
A mother begs for answers to Fox 35 in the search for her missing daughter, 13-year-old Maddie Soto.
I'm trying to hope for the best, but I'm scared for her. I want her to be okay.
Days later, Orange County Sheriff's Office names the man in the back of our interview as their prime suspect in the case, Stefan Stearns, Maddie's mom's boyfriend. Stearns is the last known person to have seen Maddie. He is not charged in the teen's disappearance, but was arrested last night and charged with sexual battery and possession of child sexual abuse material. Kissimmee police are assisting with the case. They say investigators uncovered the images on Stearns' phone, and the alleged acts happened inside the family's home in Kissimmee. In the arrest affidavit, it notes Stearns, quote, provided consent to search his phone. However, he stated he accidentally performed a factory reset on his phone on February 26, 2024. The same day, Maddie was reported missing. Stearns was expected in court today in connection to these new charges, but
based upon his refusal to come to court, he's got an out-of-county warrant out of Osceola County. His bonds will remain at none.
Meanwhile, still no Maddie.
Whenever you have a person go missing, especially a child, timing is critical.
Matt Aubin isn't connected to the search.
This is what people think. People are so stupid. They think that just because they perform a factory reset or try to clean out whatever and this and that people can't find what they have on their phone. They can, folks. They can find anything you want to on your phone, something that you had on your phone 10 years ago. Okay? If they really want to, and it goes to the right places, they can definitely find what they want. Okay? So these idiots that do this shit, it's just a joke to me. That's how stupid some of these people are. And I hope this guy kind of is creeping me out. This guy is really creeping me out now from what I've seen and heard on this. Not this guy, the one they arrested, the mother's boyfriend.
Law enforcement agencies in Florida and across the country with missing person cases. He says investigators are not only looking into the area where Maddie went missing, but also who she may have come in contact with and what happened leading up to her disappearance.
I want to investigate something. One, old is gold. We have to go far back into their history as far as we have to in order to truly map out everyone and everything that's linked to that person.
Now, again, Stearns is being held in jail with no bond tonight. Reporting live in Kissimmee, Randy Hildreth, Fox 35 News.
Thanks, Randy. Meanwhile,
Sorry about the echo, guys.
20 minutes.
This is her aunt is going to speak up on this, I believe, in this one here.
Until the sun's going to set, and dozens of volunteers are
still out there looking for 13-year-old Madeline Soto. They've been out there all day in a wooded area near Hunters Creek in Orange County. Good evening. I'm John Brown.
And I'm Luann Sorrell. Deputies
This is from 23 hours ago.
have officially called off their search for the day. Fox 35's Caroline Coles is joining us live tonight. So, Caroline, the girl's family is just terrified that she could be in danger.
Yeah, just like any family would be. They're nervous, they're scared, they're worried. They just are hoping and praying that they find her safe and, most importantly, alive.
I really don't think she would have ever done anything like that. So just to pick up and run away with no trace of anything.
50 hours and counting. That's how long it's been since 13-year-old Madeline Soto was reported missing. On Wednesday, family, friends, and dozens of deputies searched several areas around Orange County, and still no sign of the teenager.
I'm trying to believe that she is still alive out there.
Maddie was last seen Monday morning after being dropped off near her school by her mother's boyfriend. But after drop-off, Maddie never made it to school. Maddie's mother telling us surveillance video shows Maddie hanging out in a church parking lot on Monday morning after being dropped off for school, but she never made it inside.
I don't know if she's somewhere safe. That I have high doubts.
Why do you say that?
Just because of the world we live in right now, everything's really crazy.
Sheriff's deputies are using canines and a piece of Maddie's clothing to try to track her scent in the Hunters Creek area. And just like the family, the Orange County Sheriff's Office is also concerned for Maddie's safety, especially after finding troubling messages on Maddie's phone.
There is information on the phone that indicated that she told people when she turned 13, which was on February 22nd, she actually wanted to go live in the woods.
Sheriff Mina says they have collected video from where she went missing and will continue to extensively look for Maddie until they locate her.
We're worried about where she is and what, I mean, God forbid, but what's happening to her, if anyone has her, if anything like that. It's gotten to a point where we're hoping that she is with someone that she knows.
Now, the family, of course, watched that press conference that we saw earlier from Sheriff Mina, and they text me saying, look, we hear what the sheriff is saying, but we want to let it be known and clear that Maddie would never, ever run away. So that's what they're putting out there. And again, they're hoping and praying that she returns home safely. Reporting live here in Orlando, I'm Caroline Coles, Fox.
My question is why does a 13-year-old girl want to go live in the woods? I don't get that, guys. There's something in that house that's not right to make her want to be away from there. 13-year-old girls, they like their phones, they like their friends, they like their life, they want to enjoy their life. They don't want to go live in the damn woods. I'm just saying. You're right, Clue. 100%. How? Oh, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. Guy, actually, I thought you said so. He is involved. I'm sorry, I misread that. How is he involved? Because of what I think they're looking at him because of what they found in his phone, and I don't know. I just feel like something ain't right. Something's not right with this within the home. Maybe the mother doesn't know. You know what I mean? The guy seems weird to me, and something we don't know. You know, we don't know what could have happened in the home. But why didn't the school call the mom when she didn't show up for school? I mean, the way it works in my son's school is if he's not there when they do like roll call for his first period class, they wait like 3-4 hours, and then we get an electronic call that says your son was not in school today and blah blah blah. So typically, if we don't call him off from school for being sick or whatever, that's the call that we get. No, his charges aren't related to her disappearance. In to my knowledge, they're related to what they found in his phone. They were sexually explicit involving juveniles, based on what I heard. So, and then he reset his. He did it. He said he accidentally had a factory reset on his phone on the 26th. I mean, come on now. That's a little. How do you accidentally, conveniently on that day, reset your phone completely? That's crazy. Yeah, 100%.
Tonight, the search.
Sorry, guys. That was a little bit loud. All right. Here we go.
Continues for 13-year-old Madeline Soto.
She was last seen Monday morning before school. 38-year-old Steven Stearns has been named a prime suspect in her disappearance.
Detectives say they uncovered disturbing sexual images and videos on his phone, and that he tried to wipe his phone the day she went missing. West 2's Luana Munoz has been following this case in Luana. Investigators say they found material that dates back years.
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely right. According to that arrest affidavit, this sexual abuse material dates all the way back to March of 2022 and runs to at least December of 2023. Now, earlier today, we did see forensic units that were at a home that, according to Kissimmee police, is the home where Madeline Soto lived at. Forensic vehicles could be seen Thursday outside of a home in the Venetian Bay Villages in Kissimmee. Kissimmee police confirmed the home is related to the disappearance of 13-year-old Madeline Soto and the man named in the arrest affidavit as her stepfather, 37-year-old Stefan Stearns. He's also considered the prime suspect in Madeline's disappearance. In this heavily redacted report, Stearns gave authorities permission to look at his phone, but he had
freeze that for a minute. They redacted a lot of this stuff. digitally appears the affiant Detective Brian Moore, a sworn law enforcement officer, to wit, an officer for the Kissimmee St. Police Department, who makes his affidavit, states under oath that affiant has probable cause to believe that certain laws have been violated in Osceola County, Florida, and that between 320 of 22 to 23, the defendant, Stephen Michael Stearns, did violate Florida state statute and commit the offenses of sexual battery. That's the first charge, sexual battery. Hey, Bobby and Christine, welcome. So that in itself, he must have recorded something that he did on his phone to get that first charge, okay? And then the second one is possession of material sexual performance by child. That's disgusting. So I'm guessing there's some photo of him doing something with a child, I'm guessing, which is the first charge related to the second charge. You see what I'm saying? That, and if it, I pray to God it's not her, but that would make some sense. Okay, I'll let it play.
Admitted to accidentally doing a factory reset, which essentially.
And that's the thing. You can't accidentally do that. My phone, and I think Clue just said this, it asked you 3 times. Are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure this is what you want to do? You're sure you want to do this before it gives you 3 prompts, I think. Maybe more options than that to ensure that what you're doing is what you want to do. My phone is like that. So he knew what he was doing. He purposely did this that day because he knew what he did, in my opinion.
He wipes the phone clean. He did that the same day Madeline went missing. Still, investigators were able to uncover videos and images on his phone showing disturbing child sexual abuse material. The affidavit said based on the, quote, totality of the circumstances, there is probable cause to believe Stefan committed a sexual battery. Madeline went missing Monday after Stearns allegedly dropped her off a few blocks from her school of Hunters Creek Middle. But Madeline never made it to classes. She was reported missing later that afternoon when her mother went to pick her up from school. The Orange County Sheriff's Department launched a massive ground search for Madeline. They even went door to door talking with residents. Stearns was arrested Wednesday night on charges of sexual battery and possession of child sexual abuse material.
And now those forensic units, we are told, are supposed to be wrapping up their investigation tonight and then turning the home back over to the family. They also said that there should be a detective or someone that's going to be periodically monitoring the home, which is considered standard practice. Now, that massive search for Madeline does not continue tonight. However, there are detectives that have been put in certain areas. They are still monitoring and searching for Madeline this evening. So if anyone still has any information about her disappearance, they're asked to call the Orange County Sheriff's Department. Reporting live in Orange County tonight, I'm Luana Munoz, West 2 News.
All right, Luana, thank you. Stay with West 2 as we continue to follow the latest developments in the.
Now I'm wondering if there was video of her as she was dropped off in a church parking lot near the school, and then she never made it into school. So I'm wondering if she bolted to get away from the home for whatever reason. Her family Facebook too. What the hell? That's insane. That is insane. This is disgusting. These people, there's so much of this shit, guys. I'm so sick of this. So sick of this.
The search for 13-year-old Madeline Soto. Go to WESH.com or download the WESH 2 News mobile app to get breaking alerts sent straight to your phone.
Thank you, Sherry. That was from an hour ago. That was updated. Hold on a minute here. That's not the same guy. Hold up. They probably have that taken down. Nope, nope, nope. All right, guys, one moment. I agree with that, Clue. I do. It's a. I get what you're saying. It's a harsh way to put it, but still, like, leave kids alone. There's so many other scenarios that can be dealt with. These people are sick. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I just had one happen up here, not far from me in Akron. One second here. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay. I think there's a newer update too. It might be the same one we watched from an hour ago, but there was one from like 36 minutes ago. I just saw it. There it is. Where did it go? Where did you go? Where did you go? Where did you go? Oh, okay, Christine. Yeah, I'm not far from there. My daughter actually lives out in Cuyahoga. I don't know. Do you guys remember me telling you about that case where they found the woman deceased and the side of that back road in a plastic bin? Do you guys remember us talking about that slightly? Excuse me. Hey, Joanne. Oh, 100%, Sherry. I was like that. I never allowed any other women around my children until my wife now. There was no way. Not because I was worried about something happening to them, but they just didn't need to see any of that. Hey, Deborah, good to see you. They didn't need to be around any of that kind of stuff. A 100%, Bobby. 100%. It needs done. It needs to be heard. It needs to be seen. These are our children. They need to be seen and heard daily, folks. It's bad stuff. Yes. Okay. It is rough stuff. I agree. But we can't just sit here idly as these things go on and not talk about it, because the news does put things out, but not as often as they should when it comes to this. It's a great point, Bobby. Hold on here. Anyway, there was one that I had talked to you guys real quick about a woman or a body that was found in a plastic container, like a storage container on the side of the road. And there was no leads on it. Well, I guess they have a person of interest now on that. So I was going to give you guys that update too. I swear, I can't remember exactly when we talked about it, but It was just a quick conversation because there was no details on it at all. Nothing. Here we go.
In the investigation of an Arkansas woman found dead last week in a plastic storage bin. The St. Francis County Sheriff says there is a person of interest in the case. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Stephanie Skurlock.
And I'm Greg Hurst. We've also learned that a Forest City home was searched today for evidence in the death of the 42-year-old woman. WRG's Mike Sirianni has details you'll only see on 3.
The information that we received through our investigation is a possibility she was murdered in that house. Possibility.
St. Francis County Sheriff Bobby May with a major update in the death investigation of 42-year-old Troy Strope, telling WREG deputies armed with a search warrant swarmed this home on Buford Street in Forest City Thursday, gathering possible evidence connected to Strope's murder.
We got what we think is ample. It doesn't take but a speck. It doesn't take much. But we think we got ample forensics.
Sheriff May would not comment on what items were taken from the house, but added,
"We thinking possibly some blood, in the residence."
Strope's nude, decomposed body was discovered inside a plastic storage tote February 20th by youngsters on 4-wheelers riding on St. Francis County Road 731. Sheriff May says 2 brothers live at the Buford Street address. One of them was arrested Thursday on a drug charge unrelated to the search warrant. May says the other occupant of the house was not detained.
At this time, we just don't have enough evidence to make any arrest. We certainly haven't talked to any eyewitnesses.
While I was at the address Thursday, a man who said he lives at the house would not comment on why deputies had been there earlier and told me to leave his property. Sheriff May says he knows how Strope was murdered, but he can't jeopardize the case by releasing those details.
Only the person who actually did it or persons who were there would know how she was murdered. So we don't want to make that public.
In Forest City, Mike Sirianni, WREG News Channel 3.
So that should start unfolding here, I'm guessing. Hopefully. I was curious as to what was going on with that one. There's so many updates, guys, and so many different... Oh, Lord. Let's see here. So, let me see here. Okay, so
on the 4.
This is what Clue was talking about, Mahogany Jackson. I see JC's here and just mentioned it too, so I guess I'll throw this up there for you guys too. I was reading some of this just a little bit ago. That's when I allowed that video to roll. That's a good point there, Vicky. So here's what they're talking about with this one. This is pretty crazy, guys.
Following developments in the Mahogany Jackson investigation, Birmingham police promising a major update in this case, time to arrest and a motive.
Well, Bria Chapman is live on your side now after talking with Jackson's mother this afternoon. That had to be a hard conversation, Bria.
Yeah, that's right, Sarah. So as you can imagine, she is devastated over losing her daughter, and all of this happening in such a brutal way makes that loss even harder. Now, she didn't want to go on camera, but Gail Maddox tells me she cannot understand why something like this had to happen to her child. And she says she's heartbroken for her family, especially Jackson's 3-year-old daughter, Nadia. Now, she posted on social media this morning messages from her daughter from Sunday morning where she was telling her family her location and asking them to get to her as fast as they can. Now, unfortunately, they were not able to save her, but Birmingham police tell me those messages have played a major role in solving this case. Now, Birmingham police were holding 6 people in connection to the case, but they can only do that for 48 hours without charging them. Now, 2 of those people are no longer listed as being in custody, so we're asking if they've been released or officially charged. Now, we've been told the suspects were either friends or acquaintances of Jackson, and we expect them to be charged with capital murder. Now, again, this is a lot of developing information, but as we learn more, we'll be sure to keep you updated. Reporting live in Birmingham, I'm Bria Chapman, WBRC, Fox 6 News on your side.
Wow. This is insane.
Live.
So much. Hold on, guys. So much. So much going on. It's
And on your side, WBRC Fox 6 News starts with breaking news.
Now, breaking news, these 7 people all charged with murdering a 20-year-old mother from Jasper. Someone found Mahogany Jackson's body on Monday in Birmingham after she had texted a family member that she had been kidnapped.
Our Bria Chapman was at a press conference held by Birmingham police this evening, the chief not mincing his words when discussing this case.
Scott Thurman describing the murder of Mahogany Jackson as disgusting and one of the most heinous crimes that he's seen throughout his career. And not only was Jackson shot and killed, she was also sexually assaulted by multiple people. Now there are 7 people under arrest facing charges for felony and capital murder and also kidnapping. And Chief Thurman says all of the suspects were acquaintances of the victim. And not only was she tortured to death, some of these horrific acts were recorded by those suspects.
Facts of this case are deplorable and sickening. Saddest of all, they were made public by the suspect's decision to videotape portions of this horrific act. We hope to shield Mahogany's family and friends by withholding specific facts surrounding the investigation. However, we have determined that Mahogany was a victim of sexual assault with murder and kidnapping. There's videos of some of these heinous acts taking place. And that's something that was a pivotal piece of the investigation.
And with 7 arrests in 48 hours, Chief Scott Thurman is commending the people of Birmingham, saying that you all answered the call. And now these suspects will await their day in court while Jackson's family prepares to lay her to rest. And they'll also honor her life tomorrow night with a vigil. Reporting in Birmingham, I'm Bria Chapman, WBRC, Fox 6 News on your side.
This kind of reminds me of the Shanquella Robinson case that we covered last year. What is going on with these people? I mean, for God's sakes. Unbelievable. Unreal. Hold on a minute. Let me give you guys the It does, and it never ends.
Just this case.
All right, so this is the press conference from well, it's now the March 1st, but hold on the Mahogany Jackson scenario. %, Doodle. Phantasmic Ether.
Tonight you hear from BPD Police Chief Scott Thurman about an update.
You might have to turn this up a little, guy.
Homicide investigation, and at this time, Chief Scott Thurman.
So good evening. The Birmingham Police Department announces 7 arrests have been made in the Mahogany Jackson homicide investigation. On Sunday, February 25th, 2024, the Birmingham Police Department officers began investigating the missing persons case of 20-year-old Mahogany Jackson. Mahogany sent a text message to a family member that she had been kidnapped. Early the following day, officers and detectives discovered Mahogany's body in the 1700 block of Laurel Avenue. Investigators determined that she had been shot. With assistance from the community, detectives were not only able to locate Mahogany Jackson's body, but detectives took 7 suspects responsible for Mahogany's murder into custody within 48 hours of this investigation. On Wednesday, February 28, 2024, detectives were able to obtain arrest warrants for the following suspects. Giovanni Clapp, black female, 23 years of age. She is charged with felony murder, kidnapping first degree, sodomy first degree, and assault second with injury. Blair Green, black male, 25 years of age of Birmingham, is charged with felony murder, kidnapping first degree, and sodomy first degree. Tasia Lewis, black female, 25 years of age of Birmingham, is charged with felony murder, assault second, injury with a weapon. Francis Harris, black male, 25 years of age of Birmingham, Alabama, is charged with capital murder, sodomy first degree, and capital murder and kidnapping first. Sanaya McCall, black female, 23 years of age of Bessemer, Alabama, is charged with felony murder, kidnapping first, and sodomy first. Jeremiah McDowell, black male, 18 years of age of Bessemer, Alabama, is charged with capital murder, sodomy first, and capital murder with kidnapping first. Brandon Pope, black male, 24 years of age of Birmingham, Alabama, is charged with capital murder, kidnapping first, and capital murder with sodomy first. The facts of this case are deplorable and sickening. Saddest of all, they were made public by the suspect's decision to videotape portions of this horrific act. We hope to shield Mahogany's family and friends by withholding specific facts surrounding the investigation. However, we have determined that Mahogany was a victim of sexual assault with murder and kidnapping. Recently, Mayor Randall Woodfin and the Birmingham Police Department have urged the public assistance to help the Birmingham Police Department investigate violent acts such as these described in this case. In Birmingham, you answered the call. It's hurtful to know that 7 individuals could participate in such vile acts, but this case highlights the strength and the effectiveness of the partnership between the Birmingham Police Department and our community, as 7 suspects are now behind the bars and will soon be in custody of the Jefferson County Jail with no bond. And I'll tell you, as many of you know, I served a number of years in the homicide unit, and this is undoubtedly one of the most heinous acts I've seen in my career. It's absolutely disgusting. And I'm very thankful to the men and women of the Birmingham Police Department who've worked tirelessly for many days and very long hours to bring resolution to this particular case and get these individuals off the streets of Birmingham. And I also want to highlight the assistance of the citizens of Birmingham who came forward and gave us information that led to the arrest of these individuals. I can't thank them enough.
Chief, can you tell us how long Mahogany was held hostage and tortured, and do you have a possible motive?
I will say that all of these individuals were acquaintances, that they.
This is turned up all the way, guys. It's just quiet. I'm sorry.
We're not strangers to one another. As far as an exact time of how long she was held, I don't have that information.
And do you have a potential motive?
I would just say they're all acquaintances of one another.
I know on early Monday morning, you all went out there with the family to go look for her. What happened during that time? Were you all able to find her? Or clearly not at that moment, but what happened? How did you?
Well, Monday's when we found her body. You know, Sunday's when we got the information about the fact that she had been kidnapped and began a search to try and locate her. It was in the early hours of Monday morning that we received information that led us to where her body was. So we were able to recover it and begin a homicide investigation at that point.
So in no way you all made it to the apartment complex that was in question?
We had been to that apartment complex on Sunday, yes.
So what happened there? Did you make contact with anyone?
We did make contact with someone. We did question some individuals. one of those individuals is charged.
Did they admit to?
I'm not going to get into the specifics of the case because that would hurt the criminal case, but it was all pieces of the puzzle, I guess, if you could say.
And how do situations like these work with her texting her family members saying she was being hostage or asking them to send the police? And you go to this apartment, can you just go in? Is that probable cause? Like, how does that work?
So we have to look at the totality of circumstances. Each case is different, has a different set of facts. We have to look at what we've got. And then, there's different ways, whether we need to obtain a search warrant, we can gain consent, or as you kind of alluded to, if the facts are just egregious enough, then we could go in and make sure no one's in danger.
So of the 7 people, have most of them been compliant and talking to detectives who've been working on this case?
There again, that's something that will need to come out in court. That's part of the criminal case.
Chief, how exactly did the public assist in identifying these suspects, and are you confident that these are all of the suspects involved?
I'm very confident that this is all the suspects. Just them giving us some of the information that they had seen, that they had been made aware of, giving that information to our detectives so they could follow up from there, which led us to the culmination of these individuals being in jail today.
Now, Chief, I know you said you can't tell us the motive right now, but I saw, is it true, can you confirm, has there been like a video going around of a fight prior to the murder that occurred?
Well, I won't necessarily say there was a fight. There's videos of some of these heinous acts taking place, and that's something that was a pivotal piece of the investigation. So I'll just leave it at that.
Chief, how big of a role would you say those text messages and her contacting her family, how big of a role did that play?
Well, I think that was a very big role because that kind of got the police involved. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been involved prior to that time had that information not gotten out to someone so they could alert us so we could begin an investigation. The investigation initially began as a missing persons case. Our investigators spent all day out, most of that night, trying to locate her, following up on leads to see where she could be and things of that nature. And then, unfortunately, a few hours later, we received information of where her body was. We went to that location and did indeed find her body.
Chief, I just want to clarify something from earlier. Did the victims all the suspects all knew each other? Did they also know the victim?
Yes. Everyone involved in the case, victim, suspects, were all acquainted with one another.
Can you say if the person that led you to Mahogany's body is one of the suspects?
They are not.
And if you know where Mahogany was shot, was that an apartment complex?
There again, that's some of the facts that the detectives have that they're presenting in court.
How much longer do you think it'll take to kind of sort of wrap this case up before you get to court? Are there more things that you're gathering?
There's constantly always things, that are ongoing in a case. There's a lot of other leads and things to follow up on, testing of evidence, getting, things back from search warrants, things of that nature. So there's always, just because an arrest is made, there's still a lot of things that need to be done before we get to court to make sure that every stone is unturned, everything is checked into and evaluated.
Do you all think that these are the only people that were involved on stage?
Yes.
How many other locations was she taken to other than the first apartment?
There were some others. There again, that's something that's kind of critical to the case that, only the people involved would know some of that information. So sharing that with the public could potentially hurt the criminal case in the future.
Can you say if she was killed at the location she was?
From my understanding, these people were so stupid that they filmed what was going on and then they put it out on social media. So they kind of caught themselves, thank God. But people are so dumb anymore. And they deserve everything they get. This is disgusting. Hey, Shenanigans, good to see you. Mama Clue, good to see you as well. Just every day, guys. So much of this stuff going on every day. That's why I'm putting out so much of it. So many different things. Because there's so much of it out there that it's not possible to cover it all. So I'm just going to continuously do this again and again and again and again. Especially with the cases with the kids. This is horrible with the children. So I will continuously do this like this as much as I can.
I don't have that information.
Is there anything you want to say to the community? I know we have for several weeks, days, have been talking about homicides happening. And in 48 hours, people came forward, which is not common in some of the cases that you all are dealing with. Is there anything that you'd want to say to those folks who came out and helped the detectives get?
I would just like to drive home to, you know,
Yeah, JC, that's correct. I pushed that one for a while and watched it. We dropped the ball as far as that's concerned because we wouldn't force these people to be extradited to Mexico so that they could be arrested. They're just walking around living their lives. That Shanquella Robinson's case really pisses me off because of that. Really pisses me off. It's ridiculous. Hey, Tammy, good to see you.
our citizens that this is the outcomes that we can have when we all work together. We can get these people off the street very quickly to ensure the safety of everyone in Birmingham when we all work together and information is shared. And so these men and women who work in the Birmingham Police Department work very hard. They haven't hardly been home working on this case and some of the other cases, but this is what can happen when we all work together and we share information. They won't stop as long as there's things to work on in this. As long as the public shares that information, we'll continue to follow up on it.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, guys, hold on here. There's so much stuff I could bring you guys. It's just insane. Non-stop. It's just ongoing every single damn day. So much of it involves children. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, guys. Hold on a minute here. I thought I saw an update on Elijah's case, but not yet. Oh, and for those of you that were following the good night, Clue. Thanks for jumping in, dear. I hope you're feeling better. I don't know if you guys were following the Thomas Creech scenario. They tried to execute him, and it didn't work. I don't know how many of you guys were following that. And
we bring you more.
There was a little bit of a news broadcast about that. I read that too. Have a good night, Mama Clue. I read that too. If you're leaving too, I mean, sorry. I read that too, JC, but then I also read another article where it said that the United States would not push to have them extradited. I don't know if you guys were following that whole Thomas Creech scenario. Anybody that he was supposed to be executed and they tried to get a lethal injection. They tried to get a vein on him to start an IV and it didn't work. So here's what is going on with this. The conversation that was had about this after the fact, real quick. I'll give that to you guys. Here, two.
To every story, last year,
the Idaho legislature passed a law to allow prisons to use a firing squad as a method of execution. Under that law, a firing squad can only be used under two circumstances: if the state cannot get lethal injection drugs, or if lethal injections are ever ruled unconstitutional. In this case, the state had the drug, they just couldn't administer them. Even if they were legally allowed to use a firing squad in this case, the head of Idaho's Department of Correction says it just isn't a practical option yet.
We do not have the facilities or physical capabilities of carrying out firing squad, and we'll continue to work on those efforts. But again, our efforts have been focused on carrying out the death penalty under the methods that are.
So you guys heard that they don't have the facilities or the ability to carry this out, but they've been talking about this in the Idaho 4 case with Brian Koberger. I don't get that, how that even came into play, but okay.
Prescribed under state law today.
The state legislature set aside $750,000 to build firing squad facilities, but no word yet on when those will be complete.
For joining us on the news.
Oh, no worries, Vicky. Thank you for being here to hear it. Here's
breaking news. We are interrupting your programming right now with more information on the execution of.
Just so you guys know, this is from a day ago.
Thomas Creech. The Idaho Department of Correction just announced the execution was not able to proceed. Once again, Thomas Creech has not been executed.
IDOC Director Josh Tewald, after consulting with the medical team leader there, determined that the medical team couldn't establish an IV line. Essentially, they couldn't find a vein where they were going to inject those drugs into Thomas Creech, so it rendered the execution unable to proceed. Mr. Creech will be returned, maybe has already returned to his cell. The witnesses have been escorted out of the facility. As a result, the death warrant will expire. So the state has to consider next steps now because they cannot do the execution later today. Again, they need to go through more of the court process to get another death warrant. Director Tewald, state witnesses, the media as well. They're going to be at the media center shortly for a brief news conference.
Now, the media witnesses, including our very own Brenda Rodriguez, are going to speak at a news conference. It is expected to start a little bit later this morning.
So that was when that happened, guys. I have the conference for you guys to hear. I mean, I've never heard of this happening ever.
We begin with the failed execution of.
Hold on a minute here. I'll show you who this guy is. All right, this is the press conference, you guys. Where is it? We just had it. Oh, good Lord. Hold on, you guys. I'm sorry.
Breaking news. Walt, I'm the director for the Idaho.
I'm about to play the press conference to give the exact details, JC. And like I said, they'll give you exact details. That way you guys have all the right info on this.
Department of Correction. Let me give a quick recount of events from today, starting with what I think most of you are most eager to hear about. Earlier this morning, our medical team did a physical assessment of Mr. Creech. After that assessment, they had communicated to me as well as Warden Richardson that they believed and had confidence that they would be able to establish pain.
Now, just to give you guys a little bit of insight into this, if you're dehydrated, that's one way this happens. If you're severely dehydrated, your veins collapse. They won't hold. You can't get a needle into it. Okay, so and that thank you, Christine. That's exactly what I was getting ready to explain. I just he probably dehydrated himself on purpose. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? And they probably weren't thinking or paying attention to any of this. So he probably just dehydrated himself, knowing that can happen. So, okay. See, I thought that was something that was put out there, Bobby. I That's good to know, though. I'll have to go back and look into that. But anyway, if that happens, like I said, the veins will collapse, so you can't get a needle in it. They can't. It'll just roll. Okay. I've known numerous times tried to start IVs, and it just rolls because you can't get through it. Because think about it, the moisture in your body is what keeps you hydrated, and liquid. That's how you keep it. Keep going. And when electrolytes are gone, you don't have the ability for that kind of stuff. So he probably read about this, and they had the ability to do that. Okay. Or looked it up or something, or somebody told him. And very possibly did this on purpose, knowing that it would delay this. So now they have to go through, as he'll probably explain, and get a new death warrant and all of this stuff, you guys. It's crazy.
Access on Mr. Creech. Once Mr. Creech was escorted into the execution chamber and was strapped down, the medical team entered and attempted to establish IV access. The team attempted 8 times through multiple limbs and appendages to establish IV access consistent with IDOC's policy. It's worth noting in our conversations with the medical team afterwards that what they encountered in some instances was an access issue, but in others where they could establish access, they were unable. It was a vein quality issue that made them not confident in their ability to administer chemicals through the IV site once established. Consistent with our training and with our protocols, we, from the very beginning, try to be very candid and upfront that this isn't a do-it-at-any-cost process, that our first objective is to carry.
What they mean, mittens by appendages, would be if you can't get a line in, like right here, then you try the other side. If you can't get it there, you can try here. If you can't get it there, you can try the feet, behind the knee. There's multiple places that you can try to get a line in for an IV. The man was obviously severely dehydrated, in my opinion, and therefore, in turn, cannot, they couldn't get the IV to start anywhere in multiple appendages, is what they're saying, Mittens. And Deborah just said he has pancreatic cancer, and yeah, well, that doesn't help either. That's a whole other scenario. So there's that too. And again, this guy, for those who aren't familiar, Thomas Creech was what they call a self-proclaimed serial killer from Idaho. I have an interview. I'll show you guys who he is. It's back from 1981, I think it is. I'll show you right after this press conference talk. It's that way you guys get an idea who we're talking about.
This out with dignity, professionalism, and respect. And part of that was training and practicing for the chance that they were unable to establish IV access. Once the medical team leader had determined that it would be unlikely that they were going to be able to establish IV access, that was when we halted the execution. Mr. Creech at this time is back in his cell in F block. We are planning to allow the death warrant to expire because we don't anticipate a change in status or circumstance that would allow us to continue with the execution today. We don't have an idea of timeframes or next steps at this point. Those are things we will be discussing in the days ahead. And once the state has determined the next course of action, we'll certainly make those actions known in the appropriate venue. While I'm here, and I'll certainly defer to the media witnesses to recount their experiences, I do want to take a second to talk about the competence of our medical team and our confidence in them. As part of our training and rehearsals for this, every single member of our administrative team, including myself, this is a team of competent medical professionals, and we've allowed them to establish IV access on each of us individually. We train for a number of different scenarios and potential outcomes, and my confidence in this team just could not be higher. It's also worth noting that when you look at our SOP, the qualifications that our medical team has, these are people who in their day jobs people's lives depend on their ability to establish an IV. So our confidence in them remains high. And while the execution was unsuccessful, I think their efforts were, I think it would be wrong to call it a failure. They did their level best in a professional way that was respectful of the process. And when it appeared that those efforts were going to be unsuccessful, they did the right thing and opted to stop additional efforts so that we could evaluate next steps. With that, I will stop for a moment and allow the other witnesses to speak to their particular experiences.
And the thing is, guys, just so you know, they use highly professional phlebotomy professionals. That it's like an IV team. That's all they do. They do this day in and day out and day in. They're very good at what they do. So if they can't establish a line and get a vein right with this, then nobody's going to be able to. So that's basically what he was just saying.
And then I'm happy to answer any questions after that.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Boone. I'm a correspondent with the Associated Press. I'll attempt to do sort of a minute-by-minute recount of what we saw so that you can understand what happened. Let's see. So the media witnesses were brought into the witness room at 9:50 this morning. We were in there with several other people, including Hayden Dodds from the Board of Correction, Jared Larson from the governor's office. There was a correctional officer in there with us, and Ada County Sheriff Clifford. At 9:55, it sounded to me as if perhaps Mr. Creech's witnesses were being brought into the room, just so you understand that it is a separate witness room and we are not able to see them. They have their own window into the execution chamber. So what we can see when we sit in there is the execution chamber itself, which has a padded sort of medical style table with straps on it, a podium where the warden stands, 2 phones, one red, one black, and then in the walls there are some holes where the IV tubing goes into the medication room or the medical team room, which is actually behind the execution chamber and is not visible to us. The medical team apparently views Mr. Creech throughout the process, the ones that aren't in the execution room, via some closed circuit cameras, I think, and I saw 2 cameras or 3 cameras above the medical table itself. So that is where I presume they were viewing the events. At 9:59 this morning, I heard some faint pounding from outside our room. It's not clear what that pounding was. It sounded like somebody sort of rhythmically banging on metal. I do not know what that sound was. It lasted for a few minutes and then stopped. At 10 a.m., the warden and the director and some correctional officers entered the execution room, followed almost immediately by the escort team, which was 6 people escorting Mr. Creech in. He was already on a gurney. They brought him in, they moved him via a backboard to the execution table and then began strapping him down, first his right arm, then his left. He seemed he was not moving much during this process. He wasn't fidgeting. The escort team was standing at attention when they weren't actively strapping him down. And that placement of him on the table was complete by 10:03. Once he was on the table, he was looking at people in his witness area, which was adjacent to ours, and appeared to be talking or mouthing some things. At 10:04, about the medical team began assessing his veins and applying an EKG to his chest to monitor his heart rate. And they took several steps to sort of prepare his right arm for access to the IV. They used devices, including like a laser device or an infrared device, a vein finder tool. They used a hot compress. They attached a blood pressure cuff that they inflated to try to get the veins to distend. So by about 10:11, they began trying to establish the first IV. And within 2 minutes, at 10:13, they decided the first IV attempt was unsuccessful. They again tried a new site. Each IV step took several steps, right? So they would clean the skin, they would inject a numbing agent, they would re-clean the skin, and then they would attempt to insert the IV itself. Excuse me. IVs continued to be attempted in each arm first. So they tried the right arm first, they tried the hand, they tried the left arm, both sides, and then they decided that they needed to move to his legs. And at that point, they removed the sheet that was covering his legs, took off his orange, like slide-on style shoes, pulled up his green scrub style pants, and then worked around the hook and loop style straps that were restraining both of his ankles. At that point, they moved the medical cart that they were using to hold their supplies to near Mr. Creech's feet, so it would be next to where they were working. This obscured our view partially, and we were unable to see exactly how many attempts directly that they were trying. However, based on the number of times they inflated the cuff and used numbing agents, our count was also 8 attempts. Let's see. So by 10:43, they were still, at 10:41, they were still attempting to find IV sites. At that point, one of the medical team members opened a drawer in the cart, appeared to see that they were running low on supplies. That person left the room, came back with the pocket of his sort of scrub style navy blue jacket filled with supplies. When he left, Director T. Walt followed him briefly out of the room and also came back quickly. And that medical team member made an additional trip out to get, I think, one more thing. The supplies were then restocked. They were still attempting repeatedly throughout the next several minutes. At 10:54, Mr. Creech lifted his head, looked at the medical team and said, "My legs hurt a bit." At that point, they appeared to try to like lift or move his legs to apparently relieve some of that discomfort. Throughout this process, Mr. Creech was looking at the people in his witness room. He was sometimes, his arms were strapped, but he was sometimes waving like this or waggling, like wagging his fingers at them. He was sometimes mouthing things to them, but he wasn't saying anything loud enough that we could hear it. At 10:57, Warden Richardson and Director T. Walt spoke to each other quietly, nodded, and then the warden went and spoke to the medical team. Also at that time, the medical team began removing the EKG. They left by 10:58, and that's when Warden Richardson announced that the execution would be halted because of the inability to find a successful IV site. We were taken out of the room. A short time later, before we left, I saw Director Richardson walk over to Mr. Creech. At one point, he placed his hand on his arm. He whispered to him quietly. Then he moved around to the other side of Mr. Creech where he was. And the table so that his back was to the windows and appeared to be talking with him. Ms. Creech nodded back. When the warden announced that the execution would be halted, Mr. Creech looked at the people in his in the separate room, his witnesses, and waved at them again, and then sort of closed his eyes and shook his head.
Hi, I'm Brenda with KTVB. Rebecca did a great job explaining minute by minute, but I'm going to start with when he was brought in that gurney. It started on time. It started at 10 o'clock. He was brought in that gurney. He was still strapped in that gurney, and then he was lifted and put on the table, and they covered him with a white blanket. At 10:03, that's when he made eye contact with his family. He waved to his witnesses on that room there. He waved, and again, like Rebecca mentioned, you could just see his fingers move there, but he was locked in with his family at 10:03, that is. At 10:04, he actually made contact with us to see who the other witnesses were. He didn't really he didn't say anything. He didn't mumble. He just looked at us and then just laid back down. That's when the medical team started the process. They took some breathing assessment. They also put 5 what they were calling stickers on his chest and then 2 on his abdomen. I did catch at 10:06, he, throughout this whole entire process, he would mumble words, but I was able to catch what he said at 10:06, looking at his family. It appeared that he said, "I'm sorry," looking at his family again. At 10:10, that's when the first IV was administered, and like Rebecca mentioned, it started at the right arm, went over to the left one, and then they had to go take off his shoes and proceed with his legs. This happened 8 times. Through each time, though, I did notice that Creech, every time the IV was administered, he would make this snoring noise. He would also twitch. It appeared that he would go in and out of his sleep. And yeah, like I mentioned, he would twitch and then snore. There was another point at 10:32 where I was able to make out what he was saying to his witness room there. It appears that he said, "I love you." This was after a couple of attempts at administering the IV. After that, he went to that, again, to the noises, the snoring noises, and the twitching that he would do. I will also mention, kind of backtracking here, in the room, the medical staff, they were covered in white cloth. They also had goggles. And there was about 3 of them administering this IV. There was a point, the 7th time, when the IV was administered at 10:54, like Rebecca mentioned, he did say, "My legs hurt a bit." That's when the medical staff helped him lift his legs up. I will also note that from what I could see, from my point of view, he didn't seem like he was in pain. The only time that he really said he was at 10:54 when he said, again, quote, "My legs hurt a bit." Then after that moment, he shook his head. He would shake his head sometimes. I'm just looking at his family. At 10:58, that's when the execution was halted. That's when it was announced. They couldn't find, they weren't able to have any successful attempts. So that's when it was halted. We were actually told to leave the room. Creech was still laying there on the table. And when that announcement was made, from my point of view, he was looking up and mumbling a couple of words. I didn't make that out, but he would just look up to the roof and just mumble a couple words there. After that, we were escorted, but he was told a couple of words that we also weren't able to hear, but then we left the room.
All right, so that's the basis of that. I watched this earlier. I'm going to show you guys.
3-7 special report.
For those of you who aren't familiar with who this is, who he is, it's a horrible thing. Like, if this guy, oh, this is just not any kind of a lie. I'm not, I'll let some of this explain this real quick to you guys, for you guys to understand who Thomas Creech is if you don't know. Like I said, he's what they call a self-proclaimed serial killer. This is from 1981.
I did military time before I did armed robbery. But
Nobody found out.
No, I tried to tell other people. In fact, that was one of the reasons that I left home when I was 15. Was that I tried to tell people some of the things that I'd been into in the business, and everybody seemed to think that I was just playing games with them.
Why did you kill 15?
The first person I killed, or that I can say I was responsible for killing, was because of an accident that happened to my girlfriend. We was going to be married, but we never were.
Accident that
killed her, and I held the guy responsible.
Car accident?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what did you do to him?
So later we went out, and another person was with me, and we were racing over by Mason, Ohio, and we ran him off the road.
And he died in the car. You didn't actually take a gun out and shoot?
No.
Did you get any sort of thrill out of that, or was it revenge? How did you feel about that?
I thought at the time that I was doing the right thing, that, you know, that I should get even. So I can't really say what I felt at the time. I was scared.
People get even in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
There are different ways. Why did you choose the ultimate way, I guess, to get even?
Well, I guess probably because the way that my thoughts, the values that I had, and the way certain things that happened in my life, I felt the only way to get even or to avenge some wrong was you do it all the way. You don't half do it and then let the guy come back for a second chance. I got a fight in school, and I'd just gotten some new clothes. I think it was right at the start of the school year.
You were about how old?
9 or 10, something like that. And I got in a fight at school, and I didn't fight back. And the little guy that beat me up pushed me down and had ripped my pants. And I got a spanking I guess actually it was for ripping my pants, but it was explained to me that I should have at least fought back. And after that, I did start fighting. And I even went back and beat the same little guy. I beat him about half to death.
Who told you to fight back?
My father, that I should always fight back. And I should never just let someone push me and get by with it. He was a pretty stern man. I got whipped a lot.
But you didn't dislike your father?
No, I love my father very much. I was fairly close with my father when it comes to outdoor things, like fishing and hunting, because I was the one out of all the children that was into guns and liked the outdoor life. That's probably why I didn't do well in school. I liked the outdoors too much. But as far as really sitting down to him and really talking to him, I never did do that. We never did.
Never talked about human values or anything?
No. We did talk about some things like that. Standing up for what you believe in and stuff like that. But for really sitting down and talking to him for any length of time, I just never did. It hurt him a great deal to see his sons grow up and, go to prison and stuff. I don't think that he died before he ever knew that I committed any murder. So
he knew that you were in prison, but you didn't know all that you had done.
He didn't know everything that I'd done. No.
How do you think he would have reacted?
It would have broken his heart, probably, to see one of his sons do the things that I've done. He came to visit me. I was in Chillicothe Correctional Institution, and he came to visit me on May 31st, 1970. And we had just finished eating dinner. There, you're allowed to bring in food.
The Chillicothe, by the way, guys, is in Ohio. It's near Cincinnati. It's right outside of Cincinnati, basically. So.
And I looked over, and I'd been talking to my mom, my youngest brother, Joey. And I looked at my father, and he was slumped over at the table. And I lifted him back, and he was just all blue, and he was having a heart attack. There they have what they call inmate nurses. They called one to go to the hospital to get the oxygen, which by walking is only a 3-minute walk. And he took a truck, and it took him 27 minutes to get it. So my dad died. And I told him that when I come back from my father's funeral, that I was going to kill him.
Did you?
No, I tried, but he didn't die. He wouldn't die. I stabbed him 18 or 19 times.
Were you ever charged with that?
No, they sent me to Long State Hospital for criminal insane, and I spent 14 months there.
You still have hatred for I think you have a list of 3 people that you want to kill. that person on the list?
No.
You don't still have any hatred toward that person?
Well, it wouldn't be a good idea to have me around him if I ever seen him again, I don't think. But the people, the ones that I possibly would kill if I had the chance would be the ones, two of them raped my wife that was involved in the rape, and the man that started the whole thing that was actually the reason.
I do believe the judge, Bobby, due to lack of knowledge in the case of a request for change of venue, who actually gets to recommend or decide where the change of venue will be. I believe the judge is the recommendation. And I don't know. I think it's different for each state, but I think the judge is probably going to be in it, basically the one that decides that. Now, I don't know if it's the same judge, but that's what I believe that. I'll have to look that up. That's a good question. That way I can give you a 100% accurate answer on that. But that's what I believe that's what it is. It's a good question though, Bobby. It's a really good question.
The whole thing happened. It happened because of drugs, a shipment of drugs that never got to where they were supposed to be. And we were accused of taking them. And
You were dealing with that?
I was a runner for some people, so they'll really understand it. I think she understands part of it, that like my mother and like the other members of my family, she doesn't, I don't think, really believe that it's going to happen. Or
You think her mother would let her come to Boise to see you?
Mm-hmm.
Has her mother had any problems with the influence that she might have?
No, she wants her to come and see me, and so I can explain things to her face to face. And I believe that it's only right that she does come, because all she's heard mostly is, things in the
Good
news
morning,
that are
ma'am.
real bad. And I think by me sitting down and explaining to her why I did certain things that I did, and really.
It is late, guys. I just realized. So this is Thomas Creech. Maybe we can do this full interview here coming up, but I do gotta make this end. I just wanted to show you guys who we were talking about, who he is, and why. But that's a show we could do if anybody's interested in understanding about Thomas Creech. He's been on death row for this long, guys. This is from 1981. Okay, so but this is the gentleman that the attempted lethal injection failed on yesterday. So, but we covered a little bit of everything tonight, guys. Again, remember to keep all of these missing children in your prayers and your thoughts, please, if you will. At the very least, guys, please do. Elijah Vu, for sure. Okay. The 15-year-old autistic boy, for sure. The 13-year-old girl. And say a prayer for Mahogany as well, guys. There's so many horrible things that we've looked at tonight, but they all need to be put out there. And like I said, I will continuously put this stuff out. I'm sorry, cat lady. I'm tired now. It's a long day, but I didn't realize it was this late either. Have a good night, Sherry. Thank you for jumping in here tonight with us. But yeah, guys, there's a lot of horrific stuff going on. So keep all these missing children and everything else we've talked about. Keep it all in your thoughts and prayers, if you will, guys. I'll be here tomorrow. I hope you all have a great rest of your night. Yes, Tammy agreed. And don't forget to love yourselves and to love each other. Don't change a thing about yourselves, guys, because you are the beautiful people. And I will see you all very, very soon. Have a great one, folks. Good night.